Do you want to learn complete SolarWinds observability from scratch to the advanced in a single video? Yes, in this marathon, I will show you the real monitoring setup, dashboards, alerting, agents, infrastructure monitoring, application monitoring, troubleshooting, and all the practical demos. Most of the people learn the SolarWinds from the scattered videos, but in this 3 hours marathon, I will teach you everything step by step in a single video with practical examples. The topics that I am going to cover in this video are Windows Server monitoring, Linux server monitoring, synthetic monitoring, real user monitoring, network collector, application performance monitoring, Azure One, ping monitoring, and also databases, alert setup, groups creation, maintenance window creation, dashboards. If you watch this video completely, you can confidently start working on the SolarWinds observability practically. So for now, without wasting any further time, let's start.
We'll start with monitoring the host in the SolarWinds Observability tool. Okay, host can be a Windows and Linux. I am covering both the points here. First, I'll start with the Windows servers. To add the Windows servers into the monitoring, either you can click on Add Data or expand this infrastructure tab and then go for the hosts. Okay, once this particular page is open, if you scroll a little down, you will find an option called Add Host. Yeah, you can see right, start monitoring the host, and there is option called Add Host. Let me click on that Add Host. Here it will say choose how you want to monitor your on-premises host. They have provided two options here. One is use the SolarWinds Observability Agent. Another one is use the network collector. So first I'll start with the use the SolarWinds observability agent. Of course, we'll talk about this one also at the later point of video, but let's start with the first option. So simply I'll click on next, and here it will provide few more information, whether you are going to install the agent based on the script or by using the manual method, or you are going to use the Ansible, Puppet, any other scripting methods. So you need to choose. So now I will go with the manual method. So I'll select the second option, that is installer. Here they are clearly mentioned, right? Manually download and run the installer with a provided command. Okay, I'm okay with that information. I'll simply click on next, right? You need to generate a token. If the token is already existed, click on use the existing token. So currently I don't have any token over here. I will provide the name as lab 001. Okay, some meaningful name you can give to the token. After that, then go for next. Now we are in the configuration section. Here we need to choose on which operating system we are going to install the SolarWinds Observability Agent, either Unix or Windows, and whether it is a AMD 64 or ARM, right? So I will go with the second option, that is Windows. So I'll start with the Windows installation, right? Scroll down, and if you want to set up a host name, just select this option or else unselect it. Then SolarWinds will take care of the host name automatically for us. And then if you want to add any tags to this particular machines, then click on add tag and provide the value here. For example, this server is belongs to the production, so I will mention environment and value. I will give it as a production. Like that, if you want to add a multiple tags, just simply click on add tag and provide the value. If you don't want, just unselect this one or delete this one, it will go. Okay, I'll go for the next now. And now we are in the installation section. So here we need to download this .msi file and run that one by using the command whatever they have given here. So what is our first step? We need to download the MSI file. Let me click on that. Okay, as soon as I click on this, you can see right, it started downloading that particular file here. So once it is downloaded, I will copy this one and I'll go to the virtual machine where I want to do the monitoring. And on that virtual machine, I will run this one using the commandlet, whatever SolarWind has given to us. Yeah, here it is. They have clearly mentioned how to run. The only thing is you need to open the command prompt and run as administrator and then paste this one. Very simple and straightforward steps it is. Okay, let me see, is that downloaded? I'll go to the download section. Yeah, it is downloaded. I'll go to open file and I will copy this one or cut, then I'll go to my virtual machine and I'll paste here. Okay, right now I'm in my virtual machine. Okay, if you don't know how to build the virtual machine, I will cover that part also. Right, we are successfully copied the file into my desktop. Okay, you can say right, this is the file we are talking about. If I go to the properties, you can see the same thing here, right? But one thing you might notice, some extra information is coming like number 2. We don't want that, so I'll just remove that one and I'll save this one. Okay, so why I have done like that means, so let me go to the SolarWind Observability console and I'll show you that. Here you can see, right, file name should be like this only, then only it will execute without any error, right? So our next task is copy this command and run it on the virtual machine. I'll go to my VM and I'll open the command prompt as admin, run as administrator, and currently we are in the C user Rudresh folder. Let me see what are the files available. dir is going to give the list of files and folders available in that location. So right now we are in the Rudresh and we are not able to see our file. It should be on the desktop, right? cd desktop, right? Then I will do dir. Yeah, we are able to see the file name here. Okay, so we are good so far. After that, we need to run our MSI exec file here, right? So only thing is click on enter. So it will start installing the agent on this particular machine. Okay, you can see it preparing to install. Please wait while Windows configuration SolarWinds UAMS client. If you wait for a few seconds, our agent will get installed automatically on this particular virtual machine. After that, you need to open services.msc and you need to verify whether the agent is installed or not. Now I have opened service.msc. Let's see the name here. Yeah, here you can see it, SolarWind VAMS client, and it is running. It means agent installation is successful on this virtual machine. If I go back to my SolarWind console, now it should be not showing any error over there. You can see right now automatically it moved from installation status to the log status. If you want to do the log monitoring as well, you need to select enable the log monitoring and choose the information like what logs you want to monitor. Like you need to provide the path over here. Next, it will go for suggested alerts. So if you want to set up any alert notification, so that also possible right away. Like when the host CPU utilization cross 90%, you want an alert, or host disk utilization cross over 80%, you want an alert. Like that, you can choose the information over here and you will start getting the alerts, right? That's one option, or else you can later point of time also you can set it up, not a problem. So now we are focusing more into the agent installation, right? So I will not touch anything over here. Simply click on next and close. Now if you refresh your screen, that particular host should be visible over here. Yeah, you can see right, earlier it was completely zero, now it is saying overall health is good and count is 1. This count 1 is nothing but our host information. If you scroll down, you will get the server name as well. You can see right, this is our server name, lab001 Windows, and operating system belongs to Windows, and what is the current CPU and memory usage. Okay, and if you want to rename this particular server name, then go for these three dots, click on edit and modify the name over here. Instead of complete Windows, I will give it as Win, and then click on save. After this, the name should be changed to lab001 and Win. It's not Windows, right? Let me refresh this one so that you can get the latest name over here. Yes, you can see right now the name is changed, right? This is how you need to rename the host. And if you want to add this particular server into any of the groups, select this one and you will get an option called create group, and provide the name to that one and put some description and add the members into that. Groups also play an important role. We'll cover about that also in the upcoming videos. But now understand, by using this option also you can add into the group. So next, if you want to know more about this particular server, what exactly happening inside and what are the metadata it has captured, then click on this one. So you will get the detailed information in the SolarWinds console itself. Yeah, current state is good. Duration 3 minutes. Like recently only we installed the agent, right? That's what it is showing the status as 3 minutes. Better we can make it as last 30 minutes or last 15 minutes so that we can see the data very easily. Okay. So name, what is the native state of this one running? Platform is generic and Windows operating system we are using. So whatever the tags we are given, that information it is mentioning over here, right? Everything is available. So status is up to date. What is the IP address? And what is the cloud platform? We are using the Azure. So because of that reason, it is showing it as Azure. And even it is mentioning the reason as well. We have installed the or we have built the virtual machine in the east west. So it is providing the reason as east west, and if there are any active alerts it will show that information over here. This is the current CPU utilization, like it is splitted into idle, user and system level. Same thing goes to the memory as well, like used memory and free memory. Like that, if you scroll down, you will get the disk read operation related. Like we have two drives over there, C drive and D drive. Based on that, it is giving the data here. And if you scroll a little further, same thing goes to the disk write operation, disk utilization, right? Disk pending operations. So many things are available in the overview section. If you want to know each section separately, then take use of these options. First, I'll go to the health. So it will give the overall health conditions for us. So duration, 5 minutes it is active. Like that, if you want to see what all the processes are running at this moment, then go to the processes section. It will display the information over here. It will give the data according to the CPU usage and memory usage. So it's a very detailed information. So like each process name and what is the PID, what is the CPU utilization it is consuming. Same thing goes to the physical memory, virtual memory, parent, PID, and processor owner. Everything it is going to give to us. Okay, very minute information also. SolarWind Observability Agent is covering over here. Like that, if you go to the interfaces, it will list out all the interfaces information like network in and network out. Like that, if there are integrations, then it will display the information over here. Right now it is showing one file log related integration is there. And like that, if you go to the volumes, it will list out what all the volumes were there. Currently there are two volumes like C drive and D drive. What is the utilization, total disk size, free, used, reserved, and what type of it is. So you can see, right, very detailed information SolarWind agent is going to give us, right? So if you go to the metrics section, you will get complete metrics whatever agent is capturing like CPU, memory, etc., etc. All the informations were available. So we'll cover about metrics and alerts in the upcoming classes. But hope you got understanding how to do the SolarWinds agent installation on the Windows servers. Now we will cover how to do the installation on the Linux box. Next topic. Now it's time to learn about how to set up a Unix or Linux monitoring in SolarWinds. I already connected to the SolarWinds Observability console. So here you will get an option called Add Data. Simply click on that and then go for Monitor by Host. I'll click on this one, and then again here also you will get one more option called Host. Okay, let me click on that. And again, I will go ahead and take use of the first option only. As I said, I will cover more about network collector later point of time. So let's start with the first option itself for the Linux also. Let me click on next, and I am using the manual method. I will choose this one and again click on next. This time I will take use of the token which I already created in case of Windows. So simply click on use the existing token and it came automatically. If you have multiple tokens in your environment, simply click on this drop down button and select whatever you want. Okay, and click on next. This time I will take use of the Linux box. So we already covered about Windows. So now the time to learn about Linux. So I will select the Linux, then click on next. Okay, now we are in the installation section, and inside that we need to choose the Linux distribution. So there are different flavors, right? Amazon Linux, CentOS, Debian, Fedora, right? So many things are there. So for example, I am interested to work on Ubuntu part. So let me select that one, and we need to download this package and run the command is already there. We need to run this particular command. First we need to download the package, right? How to download that? Before that we need to build one virtual machine, right? Linux virtual machine. On top of that we need to add our SolarWind Observability agent. So for that reason what I will do, I'll simply go to my Azure portal and I'll create a new virtual machine. Create, then click on a virtual machine. Subscription I will leave as it is, and inside the resource group I will take use of the resource group called Unix. If you want to create a new resource group, simply create new and provide some name. That's not a big deal. And provide the virtual machine name. I will give it as Linux 002 and reason is East US. Where your virtual machine should be hosted, that is depending on this particular option reason. If you want to host your virtual machine in a different region, click on this drop down button and choose the location. Okay, so then I will not touch any of these informations. I will leave as it is. So I will take use of the image called Ubuntu server 24.2.0, right? And size I have taken it as one virtual CPU and 8 gigabyte of memory. Okay, so everything is good here. Username I have given it as Azure user. And if you want to create a new key pair, just go for generate a new key pair. Or else if you want to use the existing one, then go for use the existing key stored in the Azure or use the existing public key. For now, what I will do, I'll create a new key pair here. So I will choose the first option and then scroll down and make sure port 22 should be selected here, because in case of Windows we have selected 3389, that is the port we are using for RDP purpose, right? Like that, when it comes to Linux box, port number 22 should be open, so it is already selected. I am okay with this particular option. So after that, I'll simply click on review and create. I will not touch anything. So once I click on review and create, it will ask for generating the new key pair. I will say okay for that, and successfully it will create a one virtual box for us. Yeah, you can see that validation is passed. Again, I'll click on create. Right. Generate a new key pair. Yes, I want a new key pair to connect the virtual box. So what I will do, I'll simply click on download private key and create a resource. So with this, we have successfully created a one .pem file, and also it will create a resource for us at the background. You can see right, initializing the deployment. Within a few seconds, our VM is ready. And then by using that .pem key, we are going to connect the virtual box. Then we are going to install the SolarWinds Observability agent on that. Okay. Yes, our deployment is completed. So now what I will do, I'll simply click on go to resources. Okay. Once this particular page is open, if you scroll it till down, it will give the command how to connect. Okay. Connect. Again, choose the option connect over here. Here they have given multiple ways to connect by using the SSH, using the Azure CLI, or by using the native SSH. Multiple options they have given here by using the serial console or remote desktop protocol. A lot of options they have given. To make it simple, what I will do, I will open my command prompt, CMD, right, as an admin. Click on run as administrator. Okay, so this is my account name and this is my IP address, and followed by the PEM path, and I'm using SSH dash I. Okay, whenever you are connecting to any of the Linux box, right, always type SSH dash I followed by path, then user account, and then the IP address. So this is how it is always, right? Even in my case also it is same thing, SSH dash I path, username, and followed by the IP address. So I'll copy this one. So you might get confused. What is this path is? This path is all about this one. I have downloaded or created a one PEM file, right? That is the path I am giving, and paste it here. Then click on enter. Okay. Now you can see right. We are in the particular Azure virtual box, Linux 002. If I type host name, you should be able to see the server name there. You can see right, Linux 002. It means we are successfully connected to the machine there. After that, what we need to do, I'll go back to my SolarWinds console, and it is mentioning here. So we need to download the package here. So what we are using, we are using the Ubuntu, right? Let me select that. Ubuntu 18.04, and we need to download the package. How to download that? Either you can click on this option, so it will start downloading that particular file. You can see right, it will start downloading that one. Yeah, it's downloading, right? This is one way. If you don't want to go in this way, you can do another one, that is simply copy this particular path, go back to that virtual machine, type wget and paste it. Then click on enter. It will start downloading that one. Yes, you can see right, it is completed. 100% successfully downloaded the .deb package. So what is next? Once you have downloaded successfully, you need to install that. What is the command to install? So they have clearly mentioned here. What is the command to install that? Simply copy it, go back to your virtual machine again, paste it, then click on enter. So it is asking super privilege. Okay, not a problem. So now what we can do, we can type sudo su and then click on enter. So this time you can enter the command and hit enter. So it will start downloading. Earlier I was not logged in as a root, because of that it was giving error, but when I enter sudo su, it become a root, and it got completed successfully as well. If you want to analyze, or if there are any errors while installing the agent, where we can see that there should be some path, right? Yes, they are given clearly here. So this is the path. It is going to clearly mention what exactly happening with respect to this particular agent. So to view that, simply type cat followed by the path name, then click on enter. So it will clearly mention what exactly happening there. You can see that plugin started. Suppose here if there are any errors, it will display here. Based on that, you can troubleshoot it. But for now, everything is good. It is giving the information as successful. So I will go back to my SolarWinds consoles, and then I'll click on next, and I will not touch anything in the alerts part. I'll click on next again. and finally I'll click on close. So with the help of these few steps, I have successfully installed the SolarWinds Observability Agent on Linux box. So if I refresh, the count should be 2 because we have installed the agent on one more Linux box. Yes, you can see right now the count is 2. If I scroll down, you are able to see my server name as well. So Linux 002 is the one, right? What I am talking about. If I go back to command prompt, you are able to see that particular name. I'll go to that command prompt, right? And I'll type host name, click on enter. Yeah, you can see the same thing, right? Linux 002. It means our agent installation is completed successfully and it is reporting back to the SolarWinds observability tool properly. And if you wait for some more time, you are able to see this information as well, CPU or memory, or else we can do one thing. I'll just refresh this particular screen one more time and we can start getting this data as well. You can see, right? CPU utilization on that particular host is 1% and memory utilization is 9%. If you want to know more about that, simply click on that server name. So it will give the detailed information like how we have analyzed in case of Windows, right? Like that you can analyze here as well, like overview, health, details, assets, processes, interfaces, all the informations are available. So right now we are in the overview section. You are able to see the server name and status of that one is running, and OS type we are using is Linux, and we are not provided any tags for this one, so it is empty. Agent name is Linux 002 and it is up to date. Host uptime is 42 minutes. So it means our machine is up from the last 42 minutes, and corresponding IP address also you are able to see over here. Like that, if you scroll down, you will get the information here as well in the graph. CPU utilization, what exactly the trend is happening. Memory utilization, what is the trend happening. Right now it is 9.3%. Like that, CPU utilization by state, memory utilization by state, disk read operations, disk write operations, disk utilizations, disk pending operations, network in, network out. Everything is able to see, right? And now I will go to the health section. Okay, so here you can see state is good. Like that, if you go to the details, and here also it will give the complete information. Host is uptime in the last 44 minutes and it was booted in this particular time frame, and this is the host ID, host name, and then what is the operating system we are using, kernel version, domain related, everything you are able to see here. Very minute information also, our SolarWinds agent is capturing it, right? And we are using the cloud account, it is mentioning that information, and we are using Azure, so it is showing Azure. Suppose you build the virtual machine in case of AWS or Google Cloud, then it will display the name as AWS or Google Cloud. Like that, if you go to the assets details, it will give the asset information like Intel processor is running at this moment, total 7.96 memory, and out of that 6.29 is free, and total virtual memory is 7.96, total free virtual memory is 6.29, right? So if you go to the processes, so it will give the detailed information currently what are the processes are running and what are the top 10. Like that you will get the great information. You can say, right, top 10 by CPU. If I click on that, it will display the result according to that. So currently this is using highest percentage, that is 0.18, and this is second, and this is third, and this is fourth. Like that, top 10 by CPU you will get the information. Like that, if you want to get for memory related as well, like top 10 memory uses you want to know, then go for here, you will get the complete information about that. Interfaces section will give the interfaces information like network in and network out. Integration will give the integration data, like if anything is integrated at this moment, but now we don't have anything. If you go to the volumes, it will display what are the volumes running at this moment. So there are total 4 volumes and corresponding utilization, total disk size, pre, used, reserved, type, and what is the mode we have on that. Everything is available here. Even mount point details also it is mentioning, right? Hope you are getting the idea, right, to install the agent on Linux boxes. And again, I told you, right, groups play a very important role, right? So now we have two servers. I will create one group, add these two servers into one particular group. How to do that? Again, go back to infrastructure, select the hosts and scroll down. These are the hosts currently running. So I will select these two and then I'll click on create group. So I'll mention this is very important. I'll mention Unix, Linux, prod. Okay, provide some meaningful name there. If you want to put some description, provide that. Click on next. Add the member over here. I want to add these two things, right? Linux 002 and Unix 001. Then click on next. So you will get the summary and finally click on done. So with a few steps, we have successfully created the groups and added the required servers into that or required entities into that. So later point of time, we can take use of the group in creating the alerts or notifications. So we'll cover about that in the upcoming classes. Okay, now the next concept. Yes, our next important topic is integration of SolarWinds observability tool with Azure, so that all the Azure resources we can monitor in the SolarWinds tool itself. So for this activity, SolarWinds has provided two options. I mean to integrate, they have given two options. One is by using the Azure CLI, or if you are not interested in the CLI part, if you want to work with a portal only, then you can take use of the Azure portal itself. Both are going to give you the same result. Okay, in our demonstration purpose, I am going with the first option, that is by using the Azure CLI. So very first command is Azure login. So they have clearly mentioned here, login to the Azure account. You want to integrate with the SolarWinds Observability SaaS with the following command. Okay, so this is for the login purpose. After the login, we need to run this particular command. What is the importance of this command? See, they have clearly mentioned here. For each subscription that we want to monitor, so run the following command to create an application. Like whatever the subscription we want to monitor in the SolarWinds, for that we need to create an application, and then at the background always it will create a service principal, and we need to provide a reader role to that. Based on that, our tool will monitor the information of the Azure. So let me copy this particular command. I can show you what exactly I'm talking about. I will do Control C and I'll open a notepad file and I'll paste the command over here. To get the subscription ID, what I will do, I will go to my Azure portal, right? And then I'll type the keyword subscription over here. Let me click on that, and this is our subscription ID. So I'll simply copy this one and I'll go to the notepad again and I'll paste here, right? Let me do Control Z. Okay, I'll paste here. So with this, our particular command is ready. We need to copy this command and run it on our Azure CLI. Again, I'll go back to my Azure portal. To go into the CLI mode, simply click on this option so that it will connect. Cloud Shell is disconnected. Let me connect it back. Okay, it's connecting, requesting the Cloud Shell. Okay, it is connected successfully. Welcome to Azure Cloud Shell. You are able to see, right? Now I will paste the command whatever I have copied and I'll simply click on create. So you can see it, creating the monitoring reader role and assigning under the scope this one. So we got the application ID over here. So this is very important. So this information we need to give it as a client ID in the SolarWinds portal. So for now I will copy this command or output of this one and I'll paste here. So as I said, we want the client ID from this particular information. This we consider as a client ID. That is what they have mentioned in the article as well. See, take the note of app ID generated from this command. It will be treated as client ID in the text field. Okay, we are good with that information. Then what is the next command? We need to run this one, AZ account show. What it will do from this particular command, we will get the tenant ID. So let me go to portal and I'll run it. So once you get the result, you will come to know what I am talking about. Okay, I think it's not copied properly. I'll copy it again, go to the portal and paste it. Yes, you can see it. Now I'm able to see the result. Let me copy this as well and I'll paste here. So we are ready with a client ID. This is our client ID. Then we need a tenant ID. So do we have the tenant ID? Yes, we have the tenant ID. And do we have the secret key? Yes, we have the secret key as well. You can say it, password is nothing but our secret key. So whatever the SolarWinds is looking to connect with Azure, everything is ready. So now directly we can go to the portal. Okay, SolarWinds portal, and then expand this infrastructure, or you can go ahead and click on this add data, right? Both are going to give the same result. I simply clicked on add data and then here I should select monitor my cloud infrastructure. Okay, and inside this one our interested part is Azure. Suppose if you're integrating AWS, GCP, according to your need, you need to choose. For now, ours is Azure, so I'll select this option and we need to provide a meaningful name here. For example, I will give it as AZ SolarWinds, right? Integration. And you can give the some metric tag also here. I will give it as just AZ. Then scroll it till down and you need to provide all these mandatory information. First one is client ID. What is client ID here? As I said, our app ID is nothing but client ID. Okay, let me copy this. So when you execute this particular command, right, that time you have received the app ID. That app ID we are considering as a client ID. So I'll paste that information here. We are good with that. Then comes the tenant ID. What is a tenant ID here? Our tenant ID is this one. Let me copy this, go to the portal and paste. What is next? Client secret. So we need to provide the client secret here. So client secret is nothing but this one. Whatever the password we have received, right? This is considered as a client secret. I'll copy and I'll paste. So whatever the informations were required, I have given everything. So simply click on next. If the subscription is working as expected, it should show the information over here. So let me click on not now. Yeah, our subscription name is this one only, right? Azure subscription 1. If you want, I can go to my portal and I'll show you that. Let me minimize this. You can see it, Azure subscription 1. The same information it is showing here. I'll select it, then click on next and it will display all the region information as well, like South Africa is there, East US is there, West US is there. So I'll simply select all the region information, then click on next. Resource type also I'll select everything. So whatever you select here, based on that the monitoring will start. For example, currently in my environment I have the virtual machine and I have the some disk, so I wanted to monitor that. So where you will see that, so if you come down you are able to see that virtual machines, this should be selected and storage also should be selected. Okay, so simply click on next. Resource type, if you want to set up any template over here, select it. Right now I am not selecting anything. Click on next, next, and finally click on submit. So after clicking on submit, you need to wait for some times. It will not reflect the status immediately in our portal. It will take minimum of 5 to 6 minutes to establish the integration with the Azure and to pull the data. So as I said, currently in my environment I have a virtual machine running and also some of the disk were running in the Azure portal. So that information should be captured in the SolarWind. Then we can completely say that okay, integration part is working as expected, right? So right now what we can do, we can go to this infrastructure, then Azure section. So let's see whether the connection is happening or not here. Okay, it is showing 1, but still it is showing it as initializing. It means the connection is not yet established. It should be success. So we need to wait for some time. Once the connection is established, it will give the all the services information. Showing the name here. You can select Azure SolarWind integration. This is what we are given, and status is initializing. Once the initialization is completed, means once the connection is established, we should be able to see the services like Azure VM related or storage, whatever is available in case of Azure, right? All the information should be visible over here. And of course, corresponding matrix information also it will show here. For example, if one Azure VM is detected, then how many metrics we can get from that? If one storage account is detected in the SolarWind, and what are the metrics were available for that? Like that, we can get the complete information. So let's wait for a few minutes, and once this status is changed, I will start my screen record again. For now, I'll just stop it. Okay, great. Now it is started showing the data over here. Earlier it was in the initializing state. Now it is showing the status as active. It means connection is working as expected. And of course, you can cross verify that by looking into the service, whatever it has discovered, and you will get that information over here. You can see it, status is active, and the display name, whatever we have given, that is the one it is showing here, Azure SolarWind integration. And it has detected two different service types here. Okay, and it has detected one reason. So what are those reasons and what are those service types? If you want to know more about that, simply select this one and inside that it will give the clear picture for us. Okay, so and of course you are able to see the basic information here as well, like what is the integration name we have given and what is the current status of that one, and subscription ID what we have chosen, and also it is showing the reason also, like our VM is installed on the West US region, right? That's what it is showing it as West US 2 here. And it has detected two services so far. One is Azure Cloud Storage and another one is Azure Virtual Machine. So where we can get that information, scroll down and it will show the information here. Okay, so first point, it is showing the Azure storage information and then it's showing the Azure VM information. So it is clearly mentioning in our Azure environment, currently it is having only one Azure virtual machine. With the help of that, our SolarWinds able to give the 22 different metrics. Okay, so what is the virtual machine name? Let me click on that, and if I go inside, it will show the exact name of that one. Okay, so here top 10 regions by the entity count and then top 10 services by the entity count. Our interested parties, I wanted to see the name of that virtual machine, right? Scroll down and you are able to see that. Yes, this is the one, RSM001. Of course, health state is unknown. Don't worry, it will change the status shortly about that also. Type is Azure VM and name is RSM001. Let me go back to my Azure portal and let's see. I'll go to the virtual machines and this name should be there. So if RSM001 is there, then we can easily say yes, our integration part is working as expected in case of SolarWinds. You are able to see the exact server name here, right? RSM001 and location also we are chosen this one only, right? West US 2 and the same information is reflecting here as well. Okay, West US 2 and name is RSM001. Let me go to the previous step, scroll down and then click on the Azure Disk Storage. Okay, it will give the storage information here. Scroll down and this is the storage. You can see right, health is good, but for the VM it was not showing. Maybe it will take some time to reflect the status, but actually you will get the status like this. For this particular disk, health is good and type belongs to the Azure Disk Storage. Azure Disk Storage, right? Hope you are getting the complete idea on how to do the integration between SolarWinds and Azure. Okay, it is completely depending on the subscription. So whenever you want to do Azure related monitoring, you need to provide the subscriptions by using this particular command and just replace subscription ID here. Remaining things are same. Just replace the subscription ID and then enter this particular command in the Azure CLI. As soon as you hit enter, it will provide the information something like this. Okay, from this one you can get the app ID. App ID is nothing but a client ID that we are going to enter in our SolarWinds console. Password as well. And apart from this one, we may require the tenant ID. Tenant ID you can get it from the portal, or else if you want to get it from the command as well, again just execute this particular command az account show. It will display the information of tenant ID. Once you get all the details, go to the SolarWinds portal, right? Then click on the Azure or else add data and click on add connection. For example, add data and again go for a monitor, add data and scroll down, then go for the cloud infrastructure and choose Azure resources and provide the information over here. So you are getting right. So while giving the information, this is playing a very important role here. Client ID, tenant ID and client secret. Based on that, the monitoring will taken place here. And one more thing I wanted to discuss here. So you have successfully integrated your SolarWinds with Azure and everything works fine. And at the later point of time, you want to do some decommission activity. Like you don't want to do the monitoring of this particular subscription in your SolarWinds portal. Like how to do or how to remove that. That is also important, right? To remove the subscriptions or to remove the Azure monitoring from the SolarWinds. So scroll little down and you will get an option called settings here. Simply select that one and inside the settings there is one option called cloud accounts. Let me go to that. Here you are able to see right, cloud accounts, and then go for Microsoft Azure. So it will display whatever the integrations done so far. So Amazon related or Microsoft Azure related or GCP related. Currently we have Azure, that's what you are able to see the count as one. Let me click on that and you are able to see the information here as well, like the name whatever we have given, Azure SolarWinds integration. And here you will get the created time, subscription ID details and status description, that is cloud account is active. If you want to disable it here, select this option, or else if you want to remove it completely from the monitoring, select these three dots and click on delete. So once you click on delete, everything will go out from the SolarWinds automatically. Okay, hope you got the understanding. Now the next topic. Our next topic is adding a website into the SolarWinds observability so that we can monitor all our website whatever is critical for us. Okay, right now I have connected to the SolarWinds console here and this is the home screen. To add the new website into the monitoring, At the upper right corner, you have an option called Add Data. Click on that and then go for Monitor My Website. Let me click on Monitor My Website, and in the next screen it will ask so many information, whether you want the website availability or synthetic transaction, real user monitoring, ping monitoring, page speed, TCP port. So many options they have given. Currently we are focusing on the website availability, so I will go ahead and click on the first option, test the website and URL availability from the multiple locations using the HTTP or HTTP protocol. Okay, and it will ask for few information here. First and foremost is we need to provide a meaningful name to this website. For example, now I want to monitor the Amazon website. I will give the name as Amazon. Okay, and then you need to provide the URL of that Amazon website. So let me go to the new tab and enter the website name here and click on enter. Okay, I wanted to monitor this particular website. So let me copy this one. Okay, so our SolarWind tool should be able to check whether this particular website is up and running all the time. Okay, if it is not running, then it should trigger an alert. That's what our requirement, right? So now I will come to the URL section and I'll paste the URL name here. After that, inside the monitoring options, they have given two things here. One is availability monitoring and another one is real user monitoring. Currently, we are focusing on the availability monitoring. So just click on toggle option. If you don't want, unselect this, and if you want to monitor that, just select that. Okay, about the real user monitoring I will cover after this video, but for now our main focus is on availability monitoring. And then if you want to provide any tags here, simply click on add tag and provide the key value pair here. Again, I will give this URL is belongs to the development environment. Okay, or else this URL is belongs to the production environment. Something like that you need to give in the key value pair. So this one you can take use in the future, right? After that you can click on next, and here it will ask for the protocol details. So which protocol it supports, HTTP and HTTPS. So depending on the need you can select. For example, I will choose both here, HTTP as well as HTTPS. One important point that we need to consider here, if you select HTTPS, then it will calculate the or it will monitor the SSL certificate monitoring as well. If you don't select HTTPS, then you can't monitor the certificates. Okay, so for that reason what I will do, I'll select HTTPS as well. Then comes the important part, that is locations. So from which location this website availability should check by the SolarWind Observability tool. So it is taking by default as North America. So if you want to continue with that, just go ahead and do the next steps, or else you can select the different options here based on the region or countries or cities. So just simply click on this drop down button, you will get the different option here. Inside the regions we have North America, Europe, South America, Asia. So many options were there. For example, I am interested in the Asia part, so I'll select the Asia here. And if you want to select another one also, that is also possible. I'll select North America. Then if you want to provide some probe information, that you can give it here. After that, this is very important, like how often our tool should check the availability of the URL. So it is taking 1 minute here, right? It means for every 1 minute our SolarWind tool is going to check the availability of the website, and of course it is changeable. For example, if you click on this drop down button, so many options were there. For example, you can change into 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. So according to the need you can change that. So for now just I'll keep it as 1 minute, so that our tool will check the website availability for 1 minute. After that, authentication, user agent header, request header, post data, so many additional options where they are given. If you want to incorporate that also into the monitoring, you can go ahead and do that. For example, inside the authentication, if you want to check the availability of the website using the particular username and password, then provide the information over here. Give the username and then enter the password over here, right? So like that, if you want to add the user agent header, just do this part. Similarly, request header, post data, check string. For example, now I will try for the check for a string. For example, whenever this particular website is open, I wanted to look for a keyword. If that keyword is present, then our website is working as expected. If the keyword is not present, then something goes wrong. We want an alert and the team should work on that part. For example, here I will take the keyword as Amazon only. In this particular website, you are able to see the keyword called Amazon, right? If this particular keyword is there, then our website is working good. It is not necessarily Amazon. If you want to take other names there, for example, if you want to include mobiles there, or keyword called sell or new release, whatever you want, you can add into that. So just to keep it simple, what I will do, I'll select the keyword Amazon only. I'll go to my tool and I'll mention contains Amazon, right? If Amazon keyword is present in this particular website, it means we are good. Our website is working as expected. Then comes the SSL and TLS certificate monitoring. If you want to include the monitoring of the certificate also for this particular website, then click on this toggle option so that whenever certificate is about to expire, then we will get an alert. See, days prior to the expiration. For example, here they have given the value as 30, and of course you can modify this as well. And if you expand this outage configurations, now it is selected defaults. What is default meaning? Here they have mentioned the website is considered as down if it is unavailable from any of the selected test location within two consecutive test interval. So in the two test interval, if the website shows as down, then it is considered as a outage. And is it possible to modify that? Yes, we can do that. For that, simply go to the custom and we can make the changes here. For example, if it is available for only one, then I want an alert. If it is not available for three consecutive samples or four consecutive samples from all the locations, like that you can choose the information and make the outages configuration over here. So I will leave as it is like 2, or else instead of the region you can go for the country as well. So I will better choose the countries here. Okay, let me select few of the locations. I will choose Brazil, and I'll choose Sweden, and also I'll choose the United States. So 3 countries I have selected here, right? So remaining steps I'll leave as it is and simply click on next. And this is the summary page. So we have given the name as Amazon. This is our URL details. We have chosen the protocols both, that is HTTP as well as HTTPS, that is secured. And location we have chosen 3 from the Brazil, Sweden and United States. From these 3 locations we are going to check the availability of the website. Test interval is 1 minute. As I said, our website is going to check for every 1 minute, and here it will give the uptime checks count. So 8.64k tests per day it is going to do. And authentication set, we are not set anything. So if you want to provide any username and password while checking the availability of the website, you can do that part. Certificate monitoring we have enabled, so that's what it is coming. And we are checking for the string as well. The string name is Amazon, so it is giving that information also. Outage configuration we have chosen custom. So whatever you have done so far, everything it is giving over the summary page. Okay, we are happy with this particular configuration. I'll simply click on add website. So once you click on add website, the next part will be taken care by our SolarWinds tool. And now it starts showing the data, like how often it is responding, like in terms of milliseconds, it will give the data from different locations and all. Just now I have configured, right? Let's wait for a few seconds or a few minutes. I can show you what exactly I'm talking about. So to see the data, what you can do, go to the DEM, that is digital experience, and then go for availability. And here you will get the complete list of website that you have added into the monitoring. Currently it is showing 1, and that too in the unknown state, but don't worry, it will change the state from unknown to the healthy, because just now we configured. It will take a few seconds to bring into the healthy state. And of course you have the great filtering option over here. Suppose in your environment you have thousands of website availability, then it will be really difficult to go and check each manually, right? In that case you can take use of this name option, I mean name filtering, and search the particular keyword and you will get the exact website whatever you want. Of course, it is not based on the name only. You can go for the protocol based and status based and availability based and URL based, and of course tag based also. Tags is very important. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you are working in the real time environment, always prefer the tags, whatever you are configuring. It might be real user monitoring, website monitoring, Azure account monitoring, or host monitoring. Always provide the tags over there, so that whenever you are configuring the maintenance or alert, it will come into the picture. It will help you a lot, right? So let's wait for a few seconds to get this data here. Okay, now the status is changed. Earlier it was different, right? Now it is up and in the green color. It means everything is working as expected over here. And next component is availability. It is showing 100% available. From the time I configured to till now, it is available 100%. Suppose if the website is not working as expected, definitely the availability will reduce. And of course, we have added one more thing there, right? If the website contains the Amazon keyword, then only it will be considered as a valid. So everything is working so far. Like that, if there are any errors, that will display the information over here like active alerts. Currently there is no issue, so it is completely zero here. And if you scroll a little down, and you will get the detailed information here as well. Status is up, and this is our name whatever we have given, and this is the IPR domain name. Here we need to consider one more thing. It is not necessarily just website name like www.amazon.com or crickbus.com or google.com. Of course, you can give the IP address as well, followed by the port information also you can give. Next, it has given the information about the protocols, whatever we have selected, and this is very important. It will give the response time, how quickly it is responding. That is very important, right? If our website is taking very long time, then it should be fixed immediately, right? Then the users won't be happy to use the website. It has to be very quick. So this will play a very important role, response time. Like that, if you drag little right, you will get other informations as well, like locations, tag informations. And if you want to know more about in the detailed graph manner, then click on the website name and it will take into you in another screen, and it will display the information in the detailed manner again here. See, SSL certificate expire in 255 days and it is up in the last 7 minutes. You can get the timings like this, so that it will be very easy. Suppose if the website is down at 6:15, then you will get that information here in the different color, so that you can easily identify at what time the website goes down or website is not working. And of course, a response time also it will give here, like from the HTTP it is taking 240 milliseconds to load the website. Like that, for the HTTPS it is taking 248 milliseconds. That is acceptable, right? Suppose if it is taking 1 minute, 2 minute, right, then it will be very difficult for the people to work with that kind of website, and they will come out of that immediately. So I will give one real time example. Suppose you are a customer of a bank. Let's take an example of SBI Bank or HDFC Bank. Suppose if the website is not opening quickly, if it is not opening within a second, it is taking 1 minute, 2 minutes, right? Then it will be difficult for you to do the transactions or to see how much data you have in your account, or whatever the activity you want to do, whatever the activity you wanted to do in the app, right? That will time consuming and you will not feel happy for that website. So definitely you will come out of that and you want to choose another banking sector, like instead of SBI you will go to the HDFC, like that, right? So our app or our website should be up and running all the time, and it should be responding very quickly. That's what altogether the importance of application performance monitoring, right? So here it is taking 248 milliseconds and 240 milliseconds. That is very much acceptable. So yeah, like that you will get the status changes information, and here you will get the test results information. See, like success status code is 200. Suppose if it is not 200, then something is wrong, right? It is giving the probe location details and protocol details. Everything is available here. So now what I will do, I'll make a little changes over here. So what criteria I have given while testing the availability of this website? I have given, like, if the website contains Amazon, then it will be considered as a valid. So just to trigger an alert, or how the alert looks like in the SolarWinds console, what I will do, instead of exact spelling name, that is Amazon, I'll make little mistake over there and then I will save that, so that our SolarWind try to console the website and it will try to look for the particular string, and that string will not be there because we have given the wrong name. So we should get an alert, right? Let's try that part. Okay, then I'll click on edit, scroll little down, then go for next, down. Yeah, here I'll make the mistake. I will give like this, Amazon, and I'll click on next and I'll save this one. So definitely it should give an alert now, right? Because in this particular website, nowhere you will find that particular keyword called Amazon, right? So it means our SolarWind should check that if the keyword is not present, it should trigger the alerts. Then we can clearly say, yes, our website monitoring is working as expected. Let's wait for some time to happen that. Okay, now it started giving the result. You can see, right? Earlier it was only showing up, but now it is showing as down also. For last 2 minutes, it is showing as down. For what reason it is down? So where we can see that? For that, we should go into the availability section. Okay, so we should go into the availability. Inside that, it will clearly mention for what reason it is failing. See, availability is reduced to 81%. Earlier it was complete 100%. Outages are 1. And for what reason it is showing as outage? Let's see that part. Yeah, it is showing down here. And if you want to know the reason, just click on the root cause analysis. Let me show you that again. Go to the status changes, then select that one and then go for root cause analysis. See, required string is missing. Okay, it is saying required string is missing. What is required? So in the configuration we have given AMAON, but in the website that is not present. So that's what it is throwing an alert, right? So it is clearly mentioning required string is missing. And if you wanted to know what is that string, see, website contains AMAON. This is what we have asked the SolarWinds, right? Check the website contains AMON. So it is not present and it is throwing an alert. So if you want to know more about that, scroll a little down. Here it will clearly mention Amazon cannot be found. So because of that, it triggers the alerts. So in case of real-time environment, so if the particular keyword is not present, we should get an alert and we need to fix. Just to demonstrate how the check string works in case of SolarWinds observability, I purposefully given the wrong keyword into the configuration sections, right? Hope you got the complete understanding about the website monitoring in the SolarWinds. Now the next concept. Now it's the time to discuss about real user monitoring in SolarWinds Observability. As of now, I have connected to the SolarWinds Observability homepage. Then to create a new real user monitoring, you can click on this add data option and then go for digital experience, or else at the left hand side, you will get an option called digital experience. Just expand that, then go for a real user monitoring. Okay. Once this particular page is open, simply click on add website, and here you need to provide the name. For example, currently I wanted to monitor the one of the website which shows the important places in the Bangalore. So let me show you what exact website I wanted to monitor here as a real user monitoring. I'll go to the GitHub. Okay, this is one of my website. So here I wanted to show you what exactly it will display. Let me go to the settings and then scroll a little down, go for pages and then click on the website name. Okay, my website is hosted in this particular place from the GitHub. Let me click on that so that it will show the result. Yeah, this is the website I wanted to track or do the real user monitoring in the SolarWinds. So it is going to display the important places in the Bangalore. One is Bangalore Palace and another one is Lalbagh Botanical Garden. Okay, so I'll just copy the website URL, right? Then I will go to my SolarWinds Observability tool. I'll put the URL over here and I'll put the same thing in the here also. Either you can give the same information in the both the sections, or if you want to give some short name in the name section, that is also possible. I will give it as best places. Always give some meaningful name here. Then if you want to do both availability monitoring and real user monitoring, then select both the things. And if you want to do the real user monitoring only, then unselect the availability monitoring. Anyway, we have already covered how availability monitoring works, so I don't want to cover it one more time. So I'll just unselect that part here, right? Now I'll go and click on the next, and this is the main page. Here they have mentioned some value here. So our website will be considered as satisfied or it is working good if the value is in between 0 to 4 seconds. And if the value is between 4 to 16, then it will be considering as tolerating load time. Suppose if it is more than 16 seconds plus, then it is a frustrated load time. And you can modify this one. You can drag this one, whatever the value you want according to the need. Okay. So altogether in this particular page, you are going to evaluate the website, how quickly it is responding. If it is in between 0 to 4 seconds, yes, our website is working as expected. I'm satisfied with the values. Okay. I'll simply go ahead and click on the next. So this is a summary page. We have given the name as best places and this is our exact URL information, and availability monitoring is not enabled. Yes, we have enabled the real user monitoring only. Then simply click on the add website. Once you click on the add website, it is going to give some information for you that you need to add in your website details. You can see, right? We need to copy this particular code and add into our website. See, to receive the RAM data from your website, add this script immediately before the body tag on your web page. So we should go into our web page and add this code before the body. Okay, I understood. I'll go to my website. Let me go to the GitHub again. Okay, so I'll go to my repository. This is my main page, index.html. Okay, I'll go to the edit this file and I'll paste the code over here. Okay, I am very much happy with this information. I'll simply commit the changes. Okay, commit changes. So what we have done, we have added the code into our web page. So whenever this particular web page is open, our code will copy all the information like who has connected, from which location it is connected, how much time it is taking to load the website, everything it will capture and it will send that information to the SolarWinds observability tool. So it is completely depending on this particular information. You can see, right, rumagent.na01 cloud solarwinds.com. Next. So we are good with respect to configuration part. Simply click on the close. Now what I will do, I'll go back to my website and I'll open it multiple times so that that information can be easily configured in our SolarWinds. Okay, I'll go to the pages section here and I'll click on visit site. Okay, it is open. Let me copy again and I'll paste it here. It's opened again. Open, paste. So altogether what I am doing, I am just providing some load to my website so that this information can be captured in our SolarWinds. I'm just opening multiple times. Even it will give the exact count also, like how many times we have opened that phase. For example, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nearly 5 times we have opened our website. I made little change over here. I just renamed it as Welcome to Bangalore, most famous places. Earlier I have given some different information, right? So just to look more beautiful, I have modified this information. I have not done anything great here. I'll just go to the my GitHub and I'll show you where exactly I modified that. So even this code will be available in my GitHub page. You can copy that as well, not a problem. So let me go to the repository and I'll go to the index.html. Okay, I'll scroll it down. Okay, here I mentioned that information. Welcome to Bangalore. In the header section, I mentioned welcome to Bangalore and most famous places. That is what it is showing in the our web page. Okay. Earlier, some different name I have given there, some different keywords. Thought that doesn't looks good for this particular website. So I made the changes like this. Welcome to Bangalore. Most famous places. One is Bangalore Palace and another one is Lalbagh Botanical Garden. If you click on the explore, it will mention that welcome to the SolarWinds Rum demo. Here I have given like that. Welcome to SolarWinds Rum demo. Okay, so everything is good here. You understood how exactly our website is working. So let me go back to my tool and I'll refresh the screen. By this time, we should be able to see some of the data over here. We are able to see the information here. This is the name we have given, right? Best places, and this is the URL and corresponding some extra information like sessions related, abdex related, load time, right? Extra information also it is giving here, like time to the first byte or largest contentful paint or page views. So far it has captured 4 page views. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, of course it will supposed to give the value as 5. Only 4 is giving, but don't worry. Within few seconds it will give the result as 5 over here, right? If you have created any tags also at the time of configuration, it will display the information here. And to analyze more about this website or how the exactly happening real user monitoring, simply click on that. It will go inside and it will give the different graphs for us to analyze the data. As usual, SolarWinds has provided the great filtering option based on the pages, browsers, platform, region, country, city. So many options were there. Right now we are able to see the value, how it is responding. Right, let me scroll down. Interaction to the next point. Right, cumulative layout shift, time to the first byte, total load time, and then this is the very important section. It will give the different information here, right? You can see in a browser, geography, platform, pages. So now if I go to the browser section, it will display Microsoft Edge here. Yes, you can see it, Microsoft Edge. Why it is showing Edge here? Because right now I have connected from the edge only. You can see, right, I connected from the edge and I opened the website here. So because of that reason it is displaying the data as edge here. And let me see in the geography what all information is there. I'll go for the cities. So in the cities it is mentioned, yes, Bangalore. I connected from the Bangalore location, so it is showing it as Bangalore. Suppose if you select the countries, it should be India. Yes, and like that, if you select what else is remaining region, what it will show? If I select region, it will show Asia. Like it is continent, cities, I mean continent, then go for countries, and then go for cities. And then I'll go to the next section, that is platforms related. So it is giving, we have opened this particular website from the desktop. So I'm opening this website from desktop. Suppose if you open it from some different like laptop or tablet or mobile, right? So it will show that information. Okay, in the platform it will show the devices information. Is it a laptop or desktop or mobile or tablet? It will give that kind of information here. So it is mentioning it is taking 989.5 milliseconds to load the website. Like that, if I go to the pages, it will show the what all are the pages we are visited so far, because it's a real user monitoring only, right? So it said we are connecting this particular page, SolarWinds Rum demo. Let me go here and I'll show you that. Okay, I'll go to the GitHub, I'll scroll completely up, I'll go to settings and then pages. Here it should show that information. See, SolarWinds RAM demo. It is showing the same thing, right? The same information is reflecting here as well. Pages we visited is SolarWinds RAM demo. And AppDex score is 1. So AppDex is nothing but it is going to evaluate how our website is performing. So that's what AppDex rating is. So it's not only in case of SolarWinds, the same information we have in other different tools as well. Like if you consider Dynatrace, that will also give the AppDex rating for the real user monitoring. Okay. Then client processing time it is mentioning. Then page views by the AppDex, right? And load time based on the browser and also based on the platform. Okay, so hope you're understanding, right, how real user monitoring working. And of course you are able to see the information in the map as well. See India, average load time, then total sessions, page views, everything is available. Then top 10 countries by the sessions. Of course now it should be India only because I am the only one connecting to this website, but if the multiple people were connecting, then it will show the different information here. For example, if you are monitoring the crickbus.com real user monitoring, then that particular website might be opening from the different places. Either it could be in India or different countries. Suppose if India Pakistan match is going on, so that definitely a lot of people start watching a crickbus website, right? So it should display all the information from which all countries, I mean top 10 countries, the sessions are happening. Okay, that's what the importance of session. Here the page views again, right? And then page views per minute, how many page views per minute. Then top pages, so this is the one we are connecting. Suppose if the website is having multiple pages, then it will show all the information: top pages view, top page views, average load time, and total load time. And finally sessions, and here you are able to see new, how many new people are coming and how many are returning over here. And again, as usual, platform and browser information. And finally we have bounce rate over here. So like this, by instrumenting, by providing just a one particular script into our website, we are going to do the complete real user monitoring in the SolarWinds. See how beautiful or how easy they have made here. Okay, hope you got the understanding about the real user monitoring. Now the next concept. Now we are moving towards the another hands-on in the SolarWinds SaaS, that is ping monitoring. How to set up the ping monitoring, I'm going to show you step by step in this section now. Right, I already connected to the SolarWinds SaaS console. You simply click on this add data and then go for digital experience. Inside the digital experience, we already cover the website availability and real user monitoring as well. Now it is the time to discuss about ping. So they have given the description here. Check the availability of specific IP and the domain address. Let me click on that. Once you click on that, it will go to the next screen and it will ask for the information. We need to provide the name and corresponding IP address. So for this demonstration purpose, I will take an example of Google DNS. So you can provide any IP address here. So depending on your project requirement, since I don't have any IP address, I'll just go with a Google one. So Google DNS IP address is 8.8.8.4. And if you want to provide any tags, simply click on add tag and provide the information. As I mentioned you earlier, a lot of the times, so it plays very important role when you are creating the groups or enabling the notification to the respective teams. It has a lot of advantages. So this tags feature is not only available in case of SolarWinds SaaS, the same concept is present in other different APM tools as well, like Dynatrace, Datadog, App Dynamics. Everywhere you are able to see the tags. So these are very much important. Okay. So what I will give, I will mention this one as environment and I'll give the value as prod. So this Google DNS belongs to the environment production. That is what it indicates. Simply click on next. And here we need to choose the location. Test from region, countries and cities. So it is taking North America as a region. So if you want to go with the countries, simply select on countries and then click on the drop down button. You need to select the country information. Likewise, if you want for the cities level, select the cities option and select the information here. For example, let's consider I want to check the availability of this particular IP address from the London. After that, I want to check it from the another region, like I can take Sydney. So from these two locations, I want to check the availability. And how often it should check the availability, that you need to define inside the test interval. So it has a lot of options like 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10, 15, 30, 1 hour, 2 hours and 4 hours. For this demonstration purpose, I will go ahead and take use of the 1 minute itself, because if I give the 5 minutes, I need to wait for 5 minutes to get the data. To show the historical data, I may need to wait for 10-15 minutes. So to avoid that or to save the time, I'll go ahead and take use of the first option, that is 1 minute. Then outage configuration. If the IP address is not pingable, it's not working, then what it should do, I mean what SolarWinds should do. Here they have the configuration for that, that is outage configuration. Either you can go and take use of the default option only, or if you want to make a modification, then go for the custom. What the default option is saying here, the URI is considered down if it is unavailable from any of the selected test location within the 2 consecutive test interval. So any of the location means in our case we have selected 2 locations. If it is unavailable for these 2 locations for the successive 2 intervals, right, 2 consecutive test interval, then it will be considered as a down. So this is the default one. Suppose if you want to make any modification over here, instead of going with this default option, you want to make some changes, right? So in that case, what needs to do? Then go for the custom option. Instead of the default, go for the custom, and in the custom, 1 second, let me click on stay. Okay, let me scroll down. Yeah, instead of the default in the custom, it has provided some of the options for us to modify the data. You can see now it is customizable. Instead of the 2 consecutive test interval, you want to test it for the 3, 4, 5. Like that, you can make the modification, and of course, you can do it for the locations as well. Okay, here they have mentioned test location are cities, countries, and regions. Every location contains one or more probes. Okay, so that is totally fine for us. So now what I will do, I'll go with the default option. I'm okay with that one only for the demo. Simply click on next, and this is the summary page. This is our name, and this is the corresponding IP address. We are using the protocol called ping, and we have provided the tags like environment equal to prod, and test definition you are able to see it here, like every 1 minute, and uptimes check count, that is 2.88k test per day. So within a day it is going to check these many times, and the location what we have chosen, London and Sydney. And of course at the end you are able to see the outage configurations. So once we are okay with all this information, simply click on add URI, and you are ready with ping monitoring in the SolarWinds SaaS. And after that, if you want to see the total performance of that particular IP monitoring or ping monitoring, for that you should go into the digital experience, expand that, and then go for availability. So this is the place it is going to give the complete list wherever it is. For example, right now it is mentioning there are total 3 availability monitoring we are doing in our environment. So what are those? If you scroll down, you will get the information over here. So Amazon is there, and another IP address monitoring we are doing, that is ping monitoring, and now we have added one more, that is Google DNS, that is also related to the ping monitoring. So you are able to see protocol here so that you can easily understand which protocol we are using to monitor that. So Google DNS, it is showing it as down. Let me click on that to analyze the more about that particular ping monitoring, and here it will give the complete list like availability, outage, like status history, average response time. All the informations were there, and for what reason it is down. If you want to know that, simply select the show test result. It will give the information over here. So unacceptable packet, so everywhere it is mentioning it as unacceptable packet. So let me do one thing, let me check the status manually. I'll go to the command prompt, I'll type ping 8.8.8.4 and then click on enter. So here if you are getting the response, that is good. Here also if you're not getting the response means definitely that's not connecting at this moment. Okay, we are getting request timeout. So let me stop it. Instead of this one, I'll go for another IP address. Okay, I'm getting the result. So what I will do, I'll give this one for this demo. I'll go for the next IP address, that is 8.8.8.8. So how to modify that? For that, you can click on these 3 dots, then go for edit. And instead of 4, I'll go ahead and click on 8, because that particular IP address is currently pinging and we're able to get the response. I want to show how the data will looks like in your SolarWinds SaaS. So I should definitely take a which is working. Okay. If you're interested in the not working part, yes, this is how you will get the information, right? You are able to see the response here. Status history is down. But if you wait for some more time, now you will get the correct result, because this particular Google DNS IP address is pinging properly. We should be able to see the result in the SolarWinds SaaS as well. So hope you are getting the concept right, how to set up the ping monitoring. You should go into the add data and select the ping and provide your IP address, and followed by the location from which location it has to test the availability of particular IP address. This is how it is. So let's wait for a few seconds. I'll just stop recording my screen, and once the data started showing here, I'll start it back. Right, now you can see, right, earlier it was 0% because it was down completely, but now it is changed to 77%. If I scroll down, you are able to see the information over here. For first 6 minutes it was down because that particular IP address was not reachable. After that I made a little modification. I have used the different IP, and from that time it started showing the result as up. It means from that time it started working as expected in SolarWinds as well. So I'll just show you the steps how I reached one more time. You should go into the digital experience and then go for the availability. In the availability section it will completely list whatever you are doing, right? So for now I am doing total three available digital experience related monitoring, right? So if I scroll down, you will get the complete information. This is the one I'm talking about, Google DNS. So now it is showing the status as up. Earlier it was showing the status as down because that website were, I mean that IP address were not working. So downtime is 6 minutes, response time you're able to see 1.39 milliseconds, and tags also you're able to see. And inside the outages section you are able to see the count as 1 because earlier it was not working, right? So the count it is mentioned as 1. Like that, if you scroll completely right, you are able to see the locations details as well. And if you want to remove this one from the monitoring, click on these three dots, then go for remove. To duplicate, then go for duplicate option. And if you want to add this one to the group, then go for the third option. So groups are also plays very important role in the SolarWinds SaaS, so that you can take use in case of creating the alerts or creating the maintenance windows. For example, you have 10 website availability monitoring. Instead of adding it one by one into the maintenance window, you can create a group and add that all 10 website into that group, and while creating the maintenance window you can directly apply to that. So going forward, whenever there is a requirement for placing the maintenance mode for those website, you can do it in a single click, right? So that is how it works. And if you want to do on demand check, then go for trigger on demand check. And to stop the monitoring, then go for the pause monitoring. So now I'll explain deeper into that. For that, I'll simply click on this option and you will get the different graphs and corresponding data for that. See, availability of this particular ping monitoring is 80%. Outage is 1 in the last 1 hour, right? If I scroll down, it will give the information here. Like for 60 minutes, it was down from 2:45 to till this time, right? After that, it is showing the status as green. It means everything is working as expected. And average response time you're able to see in the beautiful graph. You can see, right, most of the time the response time is 1.9 or 1.2, like that. So in the graph you are able to see the information. If it is taking more than 1 minute, something like that, then the graph will show that indication over here, so that you can easily understand which IP address is having the issue. So here is the test result. Last time it was down, but now it is showing the status as up in the last 25 minutes from 2:51 p.m. to the 16 p.m. Okay, so to know the results, simply click on show results and it will give the result information here. So it has been checked from the London, status is okay, and Sydney, okay, and again London. We have chosen two locations, right? You are able to see that information here. From those two locations, it is continuously checking, and you are able to see the information here. And corresponding protocol, response time, and execution type, it is showing. Okay. Here you might notice one more thing. For the first one, when it was shown as a down, you are able to see the root cause analysis because some issue is there. We need to fix that. But when it is working as expected, now the status is up. For this, you no need to have the root cause analysis. Because of that reason, it is not providing any root cause analysis here. And along with that, it's providing the great filtering option here. You can do the filtering based on the probe city, probe country, probe region, protocol, errors, success, and ping. All the possibilities are available here. And apart from this also, if you want to know what are the metrics we're capturing from this particular ping monitoring, then you should go for metrics option. So from this particular website, I mean ping monitoring, we're able to get all these metrics, mainly synthetic states, synthetic success. You're able to see that, right? For now, what I will do, I will go ahead and click on synthetic status. So you can see the information over the graph. You can see that synthetic status graph is coming up here. So you might be confused. So what is this graph is all about? Yes. So whenever the particular IP address is pinging, then it will give the synthetic status as 1. If the IP address is not pinging, then it will change the status value as 0. You might notice here it is giving completely value as 111 everywhere. But if you go take your mouse over 245 or 247, it is giving the value as 0.0 point 0. Why 0.0 point 0 at that time? Why? Because the website was down at that moment. We were using the different IP address. It was not reachable. It was giving the request timeout. So that information we captured here as a 0. So altogether, if the status is 0, then ping monitoring is not working. Ping is down. If the status is 1, then ping is working. That is what the importance of synthetic status. If you want to put this information into any of the dashboards, then click on these three dots and send to dashboards. And of course, you can create an alert as well. For example, let me click on a create alert. So create a quick alert. So provide the name here. For example, I wanted to do the monitoring for 8.8.8.8, right? So I just provided that information and provide some description if needed and provide the severity. This one I want as a critical, enable the alert, then click on next. Okay, and then comes the select scope. It has taken automatically everything for us. URI, selected URI and Google DNS. So everything is taken automatically when you have opened from the particular IP. So we are already into the IP dashboards, and from that I am selecting to create a alert. So because of that reason, it has selected everything automatically. I explained already how alert works. That time I have choosing everything manually one by one, like clicking entity type, scoped by, and selected URIs. But here I am not doing that because everything is taken care automatically from the SolarWind itself. So then comes the definer conditions. So it has taken synthetic status and static threshold, right? And if you want to include the matrix without data, then go for click on this toggle option. After that, come down. This is very important. We need to set the value here. Trigger when the matrix is equals to 1. If you want this particular condition, then it will create an alert. Usually, we don't want the alert for the up. Up means 1 in case of synthetic status in SolarWinds. So we don't for 1, we want for 0, right? 0 means it is down. So when it is not working, IP address is not working, it shows the status as 0. That is what how it works in case of real-time environment. For now, what I will do, just to show how the alert works or how the alert will get created for the ping monitoring, I'll give it as a 1 only. Already website is working as expected and synthetic status value is also 1, but still I want the alert. Why? Just to show the alerting part to you. Okay, but in case of real time, it should be always 0. When you are working in a real projects in your companies, it should be 0, because when it is down, that time we want, right? So hope you got my point. And I'll give the value for the last I'll give it as 2 minutes to save the time, and then I want the average value of that one. Everything is good. I'll simply click on next and create. We successfully created a one alert for this particular ping monitoring. So within a few seconds, I should get an alert immediately. Why? Because I set the condition for 1. So it's already 1. Currently in the graph you are able to see, right? It's 1 now. So we have to get the alert. So not only for synthetic status, you are able to get the different metrics as well. Depending on the business requirement, you can get the information in the matrix explorer and put that information into the beautiful dashboards and share that information to the customers. Right? So far I have covered synthetic status. Like that, if you want to know about the packet loss, you can see that synthetics ping packet loss, that is in terms of percentage, and description is here. Value representing the share of failed ping response. Let me see what exactly we are going to get there. See, it is just like opposite of what we have got earlier. From 245 to till that time it was down, and after that the graph was like this, right? It was working as expected, so it was giving the status as 1, and it is opposite of that. So again, if you want to add this one into the dashboard, select it and send this to the dashboard. If you want to add into the existing one, then go for this. If you want to create a new one, click on new, provide the name and save that. So now what I wanted to show you, whether alert got created or not. So where you will see the alert information, should go for alerts, expand, click on active alerts. And that alert should be here. Yes, alert is there. Google DNS, it is in the critical state, and from last 3 minutes, it is in the active state. Okay, alert on synthetic status, and we are provided the same name right at the time of creating the alerts. So this is how you can take use of the ping monitoring in your SolarWinds SaaS. Now the next concept. Now we'll start discussing about another important topic in the SolarWinds Observability SaaS, that is network collector. So far we have learned how to do the Windows monitoring or integration with the Azure, all those things. But SolarWinds is very much famous for the network related monitoring. So to do the network monitoring, we need to have the network collector in the SolarWinds SaaS. Based on that, we can monitor the network devices. So let's start to learn how to install the network collector in the SolarWinds SaaS. Currently, I have connected to the my SolarWinds console. To install the network connector, click on the add data, then go for the networks. Okay, just simply select of the option here. For example, I will go ahead and click on the network device. Here it will ask for the information like select the existing network collector or deploy a new one. So since I don't have any network collector at this moment, I will go for the new one only. So deploy new collector. To deploy the new collector, what are the prerequisites? So it should be Windows Server 2016 plus and softwares .NET Framework 4.8 and CPU 4 to 8 CPU core and memory is 16 GB and above and storage is 40 GB. So all these things should be there, then only network collector will work accordingly. And they are clearly mentioned. Agent installation will takes up to 1 minute and network collector installation will take around 70 minutes. Okay, that is totally fine for me. So now what I will do, I'll go to Azure portal and I'll spin one virtual machine with these specifications. So this is my Azure portal. So I am in the already Azure virtual machine section and I'll provide the name as network collector. Okay, and I will choose the region as east to west. Scroll down. Let me click on this notification option. I'll just close that one. Okay, then we need to choose the image here. So it has taken Ubuntu, but we are very much interested in the Windows part. So I will go ahead and take use of any Windows server here. For example, Windows Server 2025 Data Center Azure Edition I'm taking. Let me scroll down and now we are in the size section. As I said, we need to provide some correct specification here, then only our network collector will work. So what they have mentioned here, we need to have at least 4 CPU cores and 16 GB. So let me see, is there anything like that? Click on this drop down button and see all sizes. So scroll down, let's see is there anything having 4 virtual CPU. Yeah, I can see one here and even RAM is 32. That's very much okay for our demonstration. I'll select that and finally I'll click on select one more time. So now we have chosen 4 virtual CPU and 32 GB of RAM. Okay, scroll down and provide the username here. I'll give the name as Rudresh and I'll put some password. Okay, and then we need to check about this inbound ports and outbound ports. Currently it has chosen the port number 3389 and we need to have some other ports. Let's see what are those: UDP 161, TCP 161, HTTPS 443. Those are outbound. For inbound it is 2055. Okay, for now what I will do, I'll just leave as it is and I'll simply click on review and create. Once the virtual machine is created successfully, then I will open the network security group and I'll choose the port whatever I want. Okay, all the validations are passed successfully. Finally click on create. Right, now our VM is ready. I can simply click on go to the resources. Meanwhile, as I said, we need to modify something in the network such that I can enable the security inbound ports and outbound ports. How to do that? For that, you need to go into the network security. So let me create a duplicate tab. Okay, and now I'll search network security. Network security group. Okay, it is there. Let me click on that network security groups. Okay, now already there are 3 network security groups, but we need to worry about network collector NSG only. That is the one got created while spinning up the virtual machine for the network collector. So let me click on that. So once it goes inside, it has the option for inbound security and outbound security. There we need to provide the necessary information, whatever is required for the SolarWinds SaaS. So let me go to the SolarWinds SaaS. Let's see the first outbound port, that is UDP 161. So I need to enable UDP 161 first. Fine. So here I will go outbound security rules. From this particular screen, I'll enable the UDP 161 now. Click on add. and then provide the port number 161, and it has to be UDP. Select it, then click on add. We need to provide the name as well. I will give the name as SolarWinds Collector. Fine. Okay, now I am creating the outbound rule for the port 161. Yes, you can see, right? Priority is there and port number is 161. After that, what is the next port? Next port is TCP 161. Again, to create a TCP 161, click on add, provide the number 161, choose the TCP and provide some name here, right? I will use SolarWinds TCP and then click on add. Let me go for the third port, that is HTTPS 443, and click on add, provide the port number 443, choose TCP, click on add, give some name here, again SolarWinds, I'll select HTTP. Okay, finally click on add. So with this, we have successfully created three outbound security rules. One for 443, another one for 161, and one more for UDP 161. So outbound is completed successfully. Let me go for the inbound rules. Inbound rules is UDP 2055. Okay. So I will go ahead and click on the inbound security rule and then I'll click on add. So my port number is 2055 and this is UDP, and provide the name here as well. I will use SolarWinds UDP test something I'll give. Then click on add. Okay. Right. With this, we have successfully completed the port parts. So all the ports are enabled. Outbound related is also completed. Inbound related is also completed. Storage is pending now. So it has said minimum 40 GB of storage should be there. So let's see how much we have. Yes, I'm inside the disk. Currently, I have 127 GB, which is much more than 40. So for this demo, it is more than sufficient. So everything is good. So I'll simply click on next and I'll click on use existing token. If you want to create a new one, just go ahead and take use of the first option itself. Click on next and then click on the system confirmations, confirm, license agreement, confirm, then next. Select a credential method to access the network collector web console. Create a credential manually, generate the credential automatically, select the existing credentials. So I will go ahead and take use of the first option, that is create a new credential manually. Okay, let me give some name here. Rudragada I will give, and username is admin, and I'll put some password here. Username is ready and password is also ready. So after this, again click on next. Okay, then we are in the install agent section. It is clearly mentioning the installation script below requires a administrator privilege or the access rights. I'm okay with that information. So what I will do, I'll go to my Azure portal and then virtual machine and I will connect that VM, right? Click on network collector and connect, and again one more time connect. So it will download a RDP file. From that we can easily connect it. Download RDP file, keep it, and then open a file and again open from here. So once it is connected, it will ask for the username and password. Just enter that information, then click on OK. Yes, and now it is connecting our RDP. Once the RDP connection is established successfully, our next task is copy that code and run over here as admin. Okay, so now I'll go to my SolarWinds console and I'll click on copy to clipboard, then go to the VM, accept, go to the search, type PowerShell ISE, then click on run as administrator and paste the command here and simply click on run. Okay, now you can say right, agent installation is started. Now it is checking the system requirements. This may take a few minutes, that is completely fine.
In the console also it has mentioned agent installation will take at least 1 minute. Right. Now all the verifications are successfully completed. You can see that all the requirement checks are passed and we have installed the agent successfully. Now if I go back to my SolarWinds console, it should be in the next stage. Let me minimize this one. Yes, you can see right, installation is in progress, checking the prerequisites, downloading the installer, mounting the installer, everything is taking care automatically from the SolarWind itself. So now we are installing the network collector. Definitely it will take lot of time. So initially only they have said right, it will take around 70 minutes to install the network collector. After that it will unmount the installer and finally configure the networking collector and verify the installation. So now we are left with these four steps. So we need to wait until the steps get completed. So for now what I will do, I'll stop recording my screen because it will take some time. So once the installation is completed, I will start my screen recording again. Okay, now the network collector installation is completed successfully. To check the status, you can go to the settings and then go for agent based. Inside the agent based, you will find an option called network collector. So whatever the network collector you might be having in the environment, you are able to see everything over here. Currently, we can see that I have only one network collector, count is 1, status is enabled, and status is OK. This is the name of the collector and engine version, hosting platform. To analyze more about this particular network collector, simply click on that so that it will give the status for us. You can see that now all the collector information is able to show here. Network collector status is OK. Network collector deployment plugin status is OK. NIM action OK. NIM license plugin OK. NIO config management status OK. And deployment status is up to date. Okay, and uptime is also 35 minutes. Suppose if it is having any issues, then instead of the status OK, it will be showing the status as critical. And if you click on the I icon, then it will give the result for what reason it is having some issue. And you can go to the documentation and you can fix that part. And some of the times instead of doing all those things, if you click on these three dots, it will provide a restart option. Simply restart this one and most of the times the issue will get fixed. Okay, now I'll click on this close button and I'll scroll a little down and I'll show you the agent information here. This is the agent name and platform is Azure, version details, connection details, agent status, plugin status, last seen, uptime, logs, everything is available. So if everything is green means our installation is completed successfully. So what is the next step after installing the network collector? Yes, we can do the monitoring of the network devices with the help of that particular network collector. How to do that? For that reason, you should go into the network option as you can see on the screen. Just expand that, then click on the overview and it will give the complete list of the devices that are under monitoring as a network device. Currently, I don't have anything as a network device. So what I will do, I'll simply click on the network device and here you are able to see the complete information about our network collector. This is the one which I installed, right? Name I have given network collector and connection is connected. This is the version and currently number of entity pool is 0. That is completely fine for me. Now what I will do, I will just choose this one and then click on next. If you want to take use of this particular network collector, then do this activity, or if you want to use the new network collector, then click on the deploy network collector, deploy. After that, come to this particular screen and select that and do the discovery. For now I'm okay with the only one network collector. Simply click on next, and now you need to provide the IP address. Okay, it means the network device information you need to give it here. So what I will do, I will take my virtual machine only where I install the network collector, right? I will take that one only and I want to do the monitoring of that one. So what I will do, I'll go to Azure VM. Okay, so I'll copy the IP address. This is my IP. Let me check the ping. Type ping followed by IP address, click on enter. Okay, it is replying, means ping is working as expected. So this one I wanted to do the monitoring in our SolarWind as a network device. So I'll go back to my SolarWind console and I'll provide the IP address. If you want to provide the same thing in the display name also you can give, or else if you want to give some meaningful information like Google or some other information, that is also possible. To create the tag, simply click on add tag and provide it. And after that, one important point is polling method. This is very much important. So right now we have two different options. One is ICMP, another one is SNMP. If you want ICMP, simply click on the next, and if you want a SNMP, then you need to make certain configuration on the server as well. Right? We need to install the SNMP configuration on the server, then we can take use of this feature.
Okay, SNMP version supported are SNMP v2 and SNMP v3. Port is 161, and you can use the existing credential, or if you want to create a new one, simply select new and provide the credential. Currently, I don't have SNMP configuration on any of the servers. So what I will do, I'll go ahead and take use of the ICMP only. For ICMP, I don't want all those things, right? So then simply click on next. So the overall point is how to understand the network collector. So that's what our main intention is. So we no need to worry about SNMP or ICMP. If time persists, I'll also work on the SNMP part and I'll do a video on that as well. Okay. Currently, it is started discovering the resource, like whatever the IP address I have given, right? Based on that, it will start doing the discovery. If it is able to discover or not, that information also will get here only. If the discovery is failed, it will show the information on the screen itself. Let's wait for a few seconds to get the data. Right, it has been discovered successfully. You can see, right, selected network collector information you are able to see at first. This is the collector name and version name. Followed by what network device information we have given, that you are able to see here. This is the IP address I have given, right? If you go to the command prompt, just check it. This is the one I have given, right? 20.115.57.220. Same thing you are able to see here as well. IP address you are able to see the same thing. Okay, I'll scroll down. Dynamic IP address I set it as no, and polling method I'm using ICMP. As I said, ICMP is just like up and down information we'll get. Suppose if you want to do the complete deeper level of monitoring, then go for the SNMP. But for SNMP, we need to configure the SNMP configuration on the server at first. Then you can take use of that one, right? So polling interval is 2 minutes, and then click on submit. So this is how you can add the network devices also into the monitoring in the SolarWinds SaaS. So what are the main things for doing the network monitoring in case of SolarWinds SaaS? We need to have the network collector. So in this section, I have completely explained how to install the network collector from scratch. So if there are any errors also, SolarWind has given a beautiful documentation on that part. So you can go to that and read the documentation. So where you can easily understand what is the error and how to fix that. Okay, this is the document I'm talking about. Troubleshoot network collector installation and upgrade issues. So if it is having an issue with the upgrading part, then these are the troubleshooting steps you need to perform. And if the network collector installation is built, then you need to follow these steps. Like that, if the network collector installation is failed with exit code 1, then you need to follow these are the troubleshooting steps. Web console credential don't work, then what to do? Fail to create the web console credential, what to do? So like this, they have given a clear information for the troubleshooting. We no need to do anything, simply follow the steps, it will get fixed automatically. Okay, this is all about the basics of network collector configuration in SolarWinds SaaS. Now the next topic. So now we are going to explore a SolarWinds SaaS alert setup step by step, right? So if you are working in monitoring or observability, alerts are one of the most critical features. You don't want to miss any issue in the production, right? So in this video now, I will show you how to create the alerts, or we can say how to configure the conditions, and finally how to set the notification like email or a webhook. So by the end of this topic, you will be able to create alert confidently in the SolarWinds SaaS. Okay, so before jumping into the demo, let's quickly understand what alerts are. In SolarWinds SaaS, alerts help us to detect the issue automatically, notify the teams immediately, and reduce the downtime. So to explain more about this, take an example of CPU utilization. If the CPU utilization goes above 90%, we want an alert setup, and that alert should go to a particular team. So all these things come under alert setup, right? So now let's start with a real demo. Right now I have connected to the SolarWinds SaaS model. To create the alerts, you should go into the alert section. So you are able to find one option called alerts. So if you expand that, you have the other sub option as well, like active alerts, historical alerts, and alert setting. So each one of the keyword is having their own meaning, and by looking into the keyword itself, we can understand. Active alert means currently how many alerts are active in our environment. Then comes historical alerts. So it will give the history of the total alerts. And finally, alert setting. So our main focus is this particular point, alert setting. So here right now already you are able to see few of the alerts which has configured earlier by the SolarWinds itself. For example, you can see, right, agent based host alert, agent stopped by the user or a system, agent stopped sending data, host CPU utilization over 90%, host disk utilization over 80%, host memory utilization over 90%. Like this, which are very much important and basic for the general monitoring of the infrastructure, SolarWinds has given those automatically for us. So apart from this, if you want to create any new alerts in your production environment, like if XYZ goes down, we want an alert immediately, that we can configure in this particular screen. To create a new alert, here we have an option called create alert. Let me click on that. And to demonstrate this activity, I'm taking use of the website availability. So I have already configured the website monitoring in our environment, and we already discussed how to create the website availability monitoring as well. For now, if the website is down, we want an alert. How to set up that we are going to cover now. So first it will ask for the name. We need to provide some name here. I will give it as website availability monitoring. And then comes description. If you want to put some of the detailed information, what exactly this particular rule or a monitor is going to do, you need to provide that information over here. And inside the severity, there are three things: critical, warning, and information. And if this particular alert is very much important, then go for the critical. And if it is less important, warning. And if you want to know the things as an informational level, then go for the third option. For example, if the CPU utilization is 95%, then it should be critical, because if it reaches, there are possibility the application can crash. So we should set up as critical. Like that, if the CPU utilization is greater than 70%, then we can say it as a warning. So that is not very much important, but yeah, we have to look into that. Information means if any of the service restarted, like that, then we'll go for the information section. For now, I'll select the first one, that is critical. So severity of this particular monitor is critical. And if you want to enable the alert, just select this one. If you want to disable it, just click on this toggle. Since we want a real alert in this video, so I will select this option, enable the alert. After that, simply click on next. And here you have the four option in case of alert types. Means we are going to set up alerts in four possible ways in SolarWinds SaaS, based on the metric condition, based on the logs condition, event condition, and finally anomaly detection condition. Here, metric condition, logs condition, and event condition are based on the thresholds. Whatever the threshold you set, based on that, it will trigger an alert. But last one is very much interesting, that is anomaly detection. It is completely based on the AI prediction. So get notified when we detect unexpected behavior in the selected matrix data. Only some metrics are supported. Like that, metric condition means compare the metrics against user selected thresholds and get notified about any violation. For example, if the user is selected for the CPU utilization threshold as 90%, if that threshold is crossed, we want an alert notification. In that case, we'll go for the metric condition. Like that, we can understand the logs condition by reading the exact description and event description. So now I'll explain two alert types here. One is metric condition, another one is anomaly detection condition. Let's go for the first option, that's metric condition. Once this is finished, I'll go for this one, that is anomaly detection condition. After selecting the metrics condition, I'll click on the next, right? Now we are in the third step, that is condition. So metric alert and alert on entity are metric group. If you have a group in your environment, like for example, SQL servers we have monitoring in our environment. There are 500 SQL servers. In that, 250 are for development and 250 are production. And we want an alert for those 250 production servers. So in that case, we can create a group and add the production servers into that. So then you can easily select the metric group and apply this particular monitor into that. Now, to keep it simple, I will go with the first option, that is entity. Get an alert when the entity met your criteria. So what is the criteria that you are going to define here inside the select scope? So entity type, you have a lot of options. Simply click on this drop down button. It is going to display everything. You can see, right, AWS related is also there, and if you scroll a little down, Azure related is there, and of course F5 service, Fluent D, Google, so many things were already available. So as I said, I'm interested in the website availability monitoring. So let me type the keyword called website. So if it is having any information, it will display over here. You can see, right, we have one called website. Let me click on that. So once you click on that option, now scope by is enabled. Earlier it was in the disabled state. As soon as you select the website, it got enabled. So scoped the website based on, if you click on this drop down button, it will give the condition whether you are going to scope this particular alert to the selected websites or contain text, does not contain text, entity group, or search query. Selected website means you are going to select the website manually. For example, if it is a small environment, you have around 10 websites, you can easily select it one by one manually. That does not going to impact or take your time. But if you are having thousands of website monitoring in your environment, then it is really difficult to select it one by one. So for that reason, you can take use of the below four options. First one is contains text. As the name itself clearly indicates, we need to provide a part of name about that particular website. If it is matching, then SolarWinds pick up everything automatically for us. Like that, if you want to use other way, like does not contain the text, then go for this option. And entity group, as I said, if you want to apply the particular alert for setup servers, then go for entity group. Create a group, add a server, and select that one here. Like that, based on writing the query also, you can scope the websites here. For now, I'll go with the selected website since in my environment I have very few website monitoring. So what are those? If you want to see, simply select this drop down. It is going to display here. I have only two website monitoring currently in my environment. One is Amazon website, another one is Best Places website. So I will go ahead and take use of the first option, that is Amazon. If the Amazon website is down or if it is not working, I want an alert. So that is what my condition. And finally, we need to define the condition here. So you can add the multiple condition by clicking on add, like whatever the condition you want, you can add over here. First, I'll go with the one condition, that is condition one. Here you need to select the metric. Exact metric you need to select here. So they have given three different things here. One is static threshold, another one is dynamic, and finally attribute. Let's go for the first option, that is static threshold. Okay, I just selected that static threshold, and you need to define the exact metric here. To search the metric, simply click on this drop down button, or else you can search a particular name over here. Based on that, it will display the available matrix over here. For example, I want availability related. As of now on my screen itself, I can able to see that synthetics availability is available. That particular metric is available. Along with that, you can able to see error related, error rate related, and SW matrix, health score related, and composite synthetics availability related. Lot of metrics were already available. So let's go for this option, that is synthetic availability. If that metric is not available, I mean if that particular website is not available, I want an alert. So I'm selecting the exact metric, that is synthetics availability, right? So if you want to apply this one for any particular set of tags, then click on add tag and give that information over here. Not only for including the tags, you can exclude the tag as well. Okay, then comes important part, that is trigger when the metric is. For example, if you click on this button, it will show what you are going to set based on the equals to, not equals to, higher than, lower than, higher than or equals to, lower than or equals to, and finally not reporting. So these many options were here. Based on the need, we need to choose. So for now, I will go with a lower than option. Like if the synthetic availability is less than 10%, if the synthetic availability is less than 10%, I want an alert. Then you need to define during last dash minutes. I will set it as 2 minutes. You can give according to your need. So now what is happening? Our SolarWinds is going to check the availability of website. If it is lower than 10% available in the last 2 minutes, it will create the alert. So this is a very important section of this alert setup. So whatever the alert setup you are doing, you need to select the metric value and corresponding threshold. I need to select the minutes. So how many minutes you need to evaluate before generating the alert. For now, I selected 2 minutes it needs to evaluate, and if it is lower than 10%, it should trigger an alert. So all the things are done with respect to threshold part. And then I'll scroll it till down, and inside the show metric preview, it is going to give the result for us. But currently I don't have that much data, so it is going to be empty, right? As I said earlier, if you want to add one more condition apart from this one, then click on the add condition and provide that information as well.
After that, if you want to provide some extra settings, that is also possible. For example, duration condition met, if you want to provide, you can give that information over here. First of all, what is this duration condition is met? To understand more, you can simply click on this eye icon. It is going to explain for you. Trigger the alert after the alert condition persists for a specific duration. This prevents the false positive. For example, if the alert is existed for the defined time interval, then only create it. Otherwise, don't create it. So that with the help of this one, we can avoid the false positive alerts. If you want to set up anything over here, simply select that value here. Right? So I don't want to touch anything over here. I'll simply click on the next, and I am in the action section. In the action section, you are going to notify the people. You can see, right? Send the notification or trigger an action for the active alerts. To add any information over here, simply click on add and provide the data. For example, if you want to configure something like email, so whenever the alert triggers, it should create an email. Like whenever the alerts trigger in the SolarWinds SaaS, it should create an email notification. So then you can click on the services option and choose that. For example, email, and provide the configuration over here. Click on the drop down. So add a new configuration and provide the information like name, description, and notification time zone, recipients, and finally you can click on create. If you want to test a notification, and for that also they have provided a notification test option. Since I'm using the trial period, in the trial period, they are not going to allow this kind of configurations. So I'm just leaving as it is. So in case of real-time environment, it's very simple and straightforward. We need to add the recipient email address, description, notification time zone, and name, nothing else. Okay, for now, I'll simply click on cancel, next. If it is providing any feasibility to create the test alerts, I could have done that. Since as I said, it is not providing that option for the trial period, so I can't do anything. And finally, we are in the summary section. So it is going to display whatever the configurations we have done so far. First one is name, that is website availability monitoring. And we are not put any description, so it is no description. And we are not provided any runbook URL, so that's what it is no. And severity, we have given it as a critical. So there are three severities, right? Critical, warning, and informations. We have set it for the critical. And we have scoped this particular one to the website monitoring and particularly for the Amazon. And we have defined the condition like if the synthetic availability is less than 10% for 2 minutes, create an alerts. And we are not setting any duration conditions. And if you scroll down, it is mentioned about notification as well. There are no configure notification or action. That's totally fine for this demo. I will simply click on create. So once you click on create, our first configuration for creating the alerts is completely successful. You can see, right, alert has been created successfully, and you are able to see the status as well. Now it is showing it as okay, and triggered objects it's showing empty, so nothing is displaying at this moment. But now you can see, right, the status is active, and you can see now triggered object is 1 and active time is less than 1 minute. Means there were a issue in case of particular website called Amazon. That's what now the status is active and triggered object condition is 1, and the total duration of this particular alert is less than minute. To know more about that, you can go for all active alerts and it will display the information over here. You can see, right, it is showing the source as Amazon. That's what we configured. To know more about this one, simply click on this one and you can get the more information. Like as you can see on the screen, status is active and total time duration is 1 minute, and active since from at from what time it got triggered. And if anyone acknowledged, then it will give that information for us. And we are not provided any runbook URL, so no runbook URL. And triggered by entity called Amazon. That's absolutely fine for us because we are configured it for the Amazon website monitoring. So because of that reason, it is mentioning triggered by an entity is Amazon. And if you want to acknowledge this alert, so here you have the option. Click on acknowledge and you are able to see that confirm request. Are you sure you want to acknowledge this alert? Website availability monitoring? Yes, I'm okay with that information. So I'll simply click on acknowledged. So once you click on acknowledge, you are able to see inside the acknowledged by lab setup. So I have done that acknowledgement. So because of that, it is showing it as lab setup. Okay. And if you want to mute it, then go for the mute option. And also if you want to clear this active alert, then click on the clear active alert option. And here alert condition, we have set it for 10%. If the website availability is less than 10%, we want an alert. So as of now on our screen, we are able to see, yes, this particular website is available less than 10%.
If I take my mouse over here, it is mentioning this synthetic availability is 0.0%, means this particular website is not at all available in the last 2 minutes. That's what it created the alert. If it is available, then it won't create alert, or it will close the alert whatever is set it up now, right? So this is how you can create the alerts. Okay, and now I will show you once the alert is cleared how it will be looks like. For example, let me go to the website availability whatever I created. So you will get that information inside the digital experience, and then go for the availability, then scroll down, and our interested part is Amazon, and I'll click on that one. So this particular website is showing as a down because it is not matching a particular keyword. So we already discussed, right, about this particular keyword matching. You hope you already understood that concept. So now to clear that alert, what I will do, I'll make the correction over here and click on these three dots and go for edit. So hope you remember I have given a wrong keyword called AMON, right? So let me make the correction of that one. So click on next and scroll down. Yes, here I need to make the correction. It should be AMAZON. That is the exact keyword inside our Amazon website. So just to create the alerts or how the website monitoring works, I have given this particular wrong keyword. You remember that one, right? So now I corrected that. I'll simply click on next, next, and finally save. So now SolarWind will check that availability of the website. It should be up and running now. And also that alert should also go because everything working as expected with respect to the website monitoring, and alert should definitely go, right? So now what I will do, I'll go to my alert sections. So how we can go to that alert section, scroll down, and then go for alerts, alert setting, and we are given the name as website. So I'll just search the keyword called website, click on enter, and here it is. You can see, right, severity is critical, scope is set to one website, and name is website availability monitoring. Okay, so let me select this one, and still it is showing as active, and total duration is 6 minutes. Now we'll wait some more time, and this should go automatically because, as I said, website is working good at the background. It has to go, and you will be able to see the same information in the active alerts. Suppose if it is cleared also, then it will go automatically. Let me go to the active alerts and let's see. Yes, you can see, right, now it is showing no result found, means no active alert is found at this moment because everything is got sorted out automatically by the SolarWinds itself. So the alert got cleared automatically for us. Hope you got the complete understanding about setting up of alerts by using the metric condition. And I'll try to clear this filtering as well, right? So I'll just remove everything. If any active alerts, it has to show here. As I said, currently we don't find any active alerts. One alert was there and it got cleared. Now you might be having one question here. Once the alert got cleared, where we can see that information? Yes, for that you should go into the historical alerts. Let me click on that option. So here it will display the complete information for us. Scroll down and here you are able to see the information. See, active since 2016 519 739, and active until means it got closed at what time? At what time? 7:48 p.m. So 7:39 p.m. it got created and 7:48 a.m. it got closed. And total duration of this particular alert is 8 minutes 51 seconds. And alert scope is Amazon, and name of that one is website availability monitoring. Hope you are getting the concept right, how to set up the alerts and where you can see the active alerts, and once it got closed and that information where you can see that. Okay, so everything is completely under this particular section, that is alerts. This is for active alert section, this is for close alert section, and this one is for setting up of new alerts. So metric condition you have understood completely. Now I'll go for the next option. As I said earlier, anomaly detection. So as you already know that there are totally four types of alerts in case of SolarWinds. We have covered metrics. Apart from this also we have the logs, met logs, events, and anomaly. I'll explain about the last one, that is anomaly detection. That is completely based on the AI. So let me explain about that as well. To create anomaly condition type, again you should go back to the alert setting option. So let me click on alert setting and then click on create alert. So this time again I'll go with the website availability only, and I'll mention it as anomaly based. Okay. So why I have taken the same example means so you can get the better understanding what exactly the difference between the static method and another one is anomaly method.
So again, I'll click on the critical. I will not going to explain much about this one because these steps are same. Then comes alert type. As I said, I will go with the fourth option, that is anomaly detection conditions. So metric condition is already covered. Logs and event also similar. Okay. Then I'll click on next. We're in the condition section and anomaly alert. So we need to select the scope. So just simply click on this drop down button and type website. Okay. And choose that. And you can again click on the scoped by. Select the condition according to your need. I will go with the first option, that is selected website. So I'll go ahead and take use of the Amazon again. Okay. So after that, it is directly asking the metric information. In our previous case, means when we are working with the matrix condition alert type, it was asking some of the threshold. But here it is not asking. Why? What exactly the difference between these two? So let me explain that part. So that is static threshold and second is anomaly detection. So in case of static threshold, what happens? You manually define the value like alert when alert availability is less than 10%, right? You need to know the baseline yourself. Like we should be having the baseline. CPU utilization is greater than 90%. So 90 is the baseline that we should be aware already. That we call it as a static threshold. So it is simple and predictable. But in case of anomaly detection, what happens means SWO learns automatically what is normal behavior for our metric. We no need to predict or we no need to simply give the value like 80%, 90%. We no need to give anything. SolarWinds has the capability, okay, with the help of AI, it will decide what is the baseline for that, right? No threshold value is needed. SolarWind automatically decides that value. That's why it does not ask for any value for us. First, it will look for history, like it will take an example of last 1 week data, and based on that, it will define the baseline automatically for that. And whenever that baseline is crossed, then it will trigger an alert. So you just give the metric. According to that, everything I will choose for you. That's what SolarWind will says to us. Okay. So now they want only a metric, right? So what I will do, so this time I'll select some different metric. I will go ahead and take use of the HTTP response time. Okay. Last time I have taken the availability. This time I will take an example of HTTP response time. If the Amazon website availability response time is varying over the weekends and during the weekdays, so that threshold value will be set it up automatically for us by the SolarWinds itself, and you will get that information over the anomalies over the time. For now we will not get that information because right now only we are configuring, so SolarWinds will take some time to detect this particular things, right? Scroll down and simply click on next and next and finally click on create, right? So within a few steps we have done the anomaly detection as well. So only thing is you need to understand the exact difference between the static thresholds whatever we are setting up and anomaly detection, that is SolarWind will set up automatically for us. Okay, hope you got the understanding. Now the next concept. The next super important topic for our discussion is application performance monitoring in the SolarWinds observability. So earlier, SolarWind is more into the network performance monitoring and server application performance monitoring, IP address monitoring, right? So when it was in the on-prem, but in the observability, that is in the SaaS model, they have provided the feature for the application performance monitoring as well. As all the tools are moving towards the performance monitoring, that is application performance monitoring, so even SolarWind is also into that space. So how the Dynatrace, Datadog, AppDynamics works in the same format, SolarWind also works, and of course it has an additional featuring that great level of network monitoring as well. So now it's the time to discuss about application performance monitoring in the SolarWinds SaaS. To create the application performance monitoring, for this demonstration, I'm taking use of the Java application. Okay, if you are visiting my channel for the first time, kindly subscribe and also click on the bell icon for the future notifications. So first I have connected to the SolarWinds console and then you should go into the add data section. Here you have an option called APM, that's nothing but application performance monitoring, and here we need to choose what type of application we are going to use. There is a list of applications, right? Java is there, Python is there, PHP, Node.js, .NET, Ruby, and of course you have the Go as well.
Now let's go ahead and click on the Java. So in this demo, I am working with the Java application and then provide some meaningful name to this Java application. For demonstration, I will give my name only Rudra demo app, right? Then you need to choose the environment like Linux, Windows, AWS Lambda, and Kubernetes. So let's go ahead and take use of the Windows and then click on next. Okay, we are getting the error in providing the name. So it is mentioned lowercase letters and special characters are allowed. So since I have used the capital letters, it's not allowing. So just keep this information in your mind as well. So what I will do, I'll keep everything in the small letter, then I'll click on next. This time it will not give any error. And now we are in the second section, that is token. So this is very important for authentication, right? So you can take use of the new token, or if you want to work with a which is already existed, then go for use existing token. Already I have the token in my environment. While explaining the other concept, I have created a token called a lab 001. So I am going to use the that one only. Then click on next, and this is the very important page. Okay, so before explaining the instruction sections, what I want to have an Java in my laptop. So to download the Java, go for the next tab and then search Java. So once you click on that, there are different options. You can download from Oracle website, or you can download it from java.com, right? There are so many options were available. And even from the microsoft.com also you can download the Java. Whichever is convenient for you, just simply download that one. Once the download is completed successfully, and I'm not going to explain how the download is going to work, it is simply just some MSI file, right click and install. Once the download is done, you should open the command prompt and check the version of that one. For example, I already installed the Java in my environment, so I'll simply open the command prompt and I'll type Java dash dash version. And if you want to know the steps completely how to download the Java, that I already covered in App Dynamics video while explaining the Java application monitoring. I'm going to give the link of that video in the description. From that you can learn how to download the Java step by step. So I'll simply click on enter and it is going to give the result. Yes, I have 25.02 version, OpenJDK 25.02 version. So Java is already installed. On top of that, we need to build our application. So what application I'm going to build? For that, I have already created one small code and I can give this information also in the description, and it is going to give the response as hello Java application running successfully. So whenever you open your browser and enter the URL, right, it's going to display this particular information. So it is a very simple and straightforward. I am not making it too complex to understand the concept of Java application monitoring. Okay, so now I'll open one of the document where I have mentioned the steps one by one. First one is verify the Java installation, that is done. So I am able to see the Java version in my command prompt. After that, I need to create a folder called Java Web App. Okay, inside the C drive, I need to create Java Web App. So to go into the Java Web App, you can type cd directory name. So how to create the directory? You need to take use of the command called mkdir. Mkdir followed by Java Web App. So it will create the directory for us. And to go into that directory, type cd and Java Web App. Inside the Java Web App directory, you need to create a file called Hello Java. Okay, Hello Java app or a file need to create inside the Java Web App. Okay, and inside that app, you need to put all this data. Okay, so this is one of the code which is written in the Java language, and we need to put this particular information inside the Hello Java app. So I have done all these steps. I'll go to the file explorer, then I'll go to the C drive, and I created the Java web app. Either you can create it from the command prompt, or else just go to C drive, right click and create new, and click on folder and provide the name as Java web app. Okay, inside this particular folder I created a file called hello app Java, you can see, right, and I have entered complete code into that. Okay, steps are simple: create a folder, then create a file, and inside that file put this particular information. That's it, nothing else. Once this is done, then we'll go for the next step, that is compilation. So how to do the compilation? You need to execute this particular file to do the compilation. Copy this one and I'll go to the command prompt. So then I'll go to the required folder. Okay, where is my folder? Let's go to the one step back, again one more back. Let's see dir, like what are the files were existed. Our interested part here is Java web app. Let me copy that, cd, and enter the name. Click on enter. So after this, we need to execute this particular line to compile. So you don't need to worry about anything in case of real-time environment, because this everything is done by the development team already. Only thing is we need to do the instrumentation. How that instrumentation works, I'll explain. But since to set up the background, I'm doing all these things here. Okay, in production you don't need to do anything. So this everything will be taken care by the development team itself. So I'll come here and I'll paste, then I'll click on enter. So now what it will do, it will do the compilation. Okay, it got completed successfully without providing any error. After that, we need to access our application. So how to access our application? For that, you need to run this command in the command prompt, enter. Yes, hello Java web app started on the port 8080. In the code I have mentioned as 8080, it should be actually 9090. So here it should be 90 and 90. You can take use of any port, that's not a problem. Actually I have provided 9090, but while displaying I mentioned it as 8080. Because of that, it is giving like that. No need to worry about anything. So it's working as expected. The same information you should be able to see from the browser as well, right? So if you go to the new tab and enter that URL, you should be able to see, right? So let me do one thing. I'll copy this, I'll go here and I'll paste. Click on enter. Yes, you can say that hello Java web application running successfully, and I'm using the port 9090. So don't get confused here why it is mentioning 8080 while entering or echo command or display command. I mentioned wrongly in the notepad file. Okay, that's the reason you are getting that information. You can say that print hello Java web app started on the port 8080. I just now modified into 9090. If I save it and run it again, and you are able to see 9090 going forward. Okay, so it means our web app, our Java application is working as expected. And now we need to instrument this particular application with the SolarWinds so that this application get monitored in our tool. How to do that? Again, go to the documentation. Okay, so here I mentioned about the port conflict as well. If you are getting any port conflict issue, then how to find out that information I have mentioned here. Troubleshoot port conflict. Okay, to instrument, we need to create a SolarWind agent folder inside the C drive. So what I will do, I'll copy this one and I'll go to C drive and I'll create that. Yes, okay, I have created the SolarWinds agent folder. So inside that folder, what we need to do, we need to paste our .jar file, SolarWinds APM agent .jar file. We need to paste that. Where you will get this jar file? It is available in your tool. See, I'm talking about this one. Download the library .jar file. So we need to download this library and put that information in the SolarWinds agent folder. How to download? Simply click on this option. It will start downloading for us. Yes, you can see it. SolarWind APM agent 1.jar is started downloading. It is giving the value as 1 here. Don't worry about that because I already downloaded earlier also. Because of that, it added extra information as a 1 here. If you download one more time, it will give the 2. That's it, nothing else here. Okay. So it's getting completed within 12 seconds. Let's wait for that. Okay. So it's almost done. Yes, it is downloaded successfully. Simply click on keep. Okay, then go for folder. Yes, you can see that we have successfully downloaded SolarWinds APM agent.jar file. Now what I will do, I'll just delete which I created earlier. Otherwise we'll get confused, right? So you can see that this is the one which I created earlier. I'll simply delete this one and I'll rename this one to the just name like SolarWinds APM agent. Right, it got deleted. Let me copy this one and I'll go to the folder what I created now. So this PC, C drive, SolarWinds agent, and I'll paste the information here. Let me rename this one because it contains the letter 1, right? That's not required, right? And I'll save this. Right. So after that, what is the next command? Anyway, our website is working as expected. So I'll go for the next command. Create a SolarWinds agent folder that is completed. Then get the SolarWinds configurations. Okay, it is already done. I went into the settings, add data and Java. So we are already in this particular screen. So now we need to load the library into our application. So we have successfully downloaded the library. Then we need to add that library into the application. How to add the library into the application? They have given the command here. We need to add the Java agent. So simply copy, open a notepad and paste and modify according to your need. Okay, this is the command. Java agent, we need to provide the path, and then this is the service key, and we have provided the name as Rudra demo app, and after that it is taking the APM collector name, that is NA-01. So only modification what we need to provide the path here. So what I can do, I'll go to my SolarWinds agent and I'll copy this one and I'll put that information here. So now we have provided Java agent and where exactly our jar file is present, right? I think I need to remove this one. Yeah, jar agent, and it includes the service key and the app name and followed by APM collector information. So how to run that? So again, in the documentation, I have provided the steps. See, so we need to run the command, and after that we need to provide these lines. To run our app, we need to provide these lines. Copy, go here, and after this one, paste it. So now our command is ready. So now I'll copy this one and I'll run. Before that, so here we need to add the keyword Java, right? I just copied it and I'll run now. Paste, click on enter. Okay, now it started working as expected. So now if you go back to the SolarWinds portal, you will be able to see the information. Okay, what I will do, I'll go to the console, then SolarWinds Observability tool, scroll down. Since it is, still it is showing waiting for connection. So now what I will do, I'll generate some load here. Refresh multiple times, copy, open in a new tab, copy, open in a new tab, copy, open in a new tab. So instrumentation part is done. So yes, now you are able to see that connection is successful. We have generated the load from our website, Google. So now the connection got successful. I'll explain the steps one more time so that you'll get the clarity. Once you come to this instruction page, you need to download this .jar file, create some folder and paste the information. After that, you need to run this particular command. So wherever that .jar file is there, right, you should go to that particular path and run this one. Okay, so this is the main important part. Okay, so here what I have done, along with this one, I have added one more line at the end. You might be noticed here, right? If I scroll completely right, I have added one more or one information here. Why I have added? Whenever our app is running, it should run along with our SolarWinds agent as well, so that it can get the data and send that information back to our SolarWinds collector. So that is what the importance. So after that, simply I have opened my website multiple times and I got the data. So that's what you are able to see the result as connection successful. Now I'll simply click on finish and all the data we are able to see inside our SolarWinds tool. Where we can see that, go to the APM and it should display the information here. See, I have only one app currently monitoring and the name of that particular app is Rudra demo app. Language it is showing empty here. If you wait for some time, it will show the information as Java here. Right, now we were able to see the complete information here. Language is Java, total requests are 14, request rate, response time, error ratio, right, last seen, everything is able to see in the screen. Actually, it took so much of time to display all this information. So the main problem was that, let me go to the command prompt. So we need to run this particular command, right, inside the Java web app.
By mistake, I have ran it in the SolarWinds agent folder. Due to that, it was not showing the data correctly. Our actual script present inside the Java web app, right? So we need to run in that only. Let me go to the file explorer and I can show you that. C drive SolarWinds agent. Only this particular file is present. SolarWinds ABM agent.jar. But our actual script present inside C drive and then Java web app, right? Hello app.java. It is present inside the C Java web app. So we have to run that particular command inside this particular place. So I was running inside the SolarWinds agent. Due to that, it was not capturing the data properly. So after I ran that one inside the Java web app, I'm able to see the data. While practicing in your lab environment, you should make sure this particular line should run inside the Java web app folder, not the SolarWinds agent. Keep this particular information in your mind. Suppose if you run inside the SolarWinds app agent, at the max you are able to see like it is in the healthy state. You don't find any other metrics like whatever you are seeing on the screen, right? That information you will not able to see if you run it from the SolarWinds agent folder. So it has to be always Java web app folder because our actual JavaScript present in that only. You can see that Java source file is present here. So we should run in that particular place only. So that whenever the app is running, it will run along with our SolarWinds agent and it will send that information to the SolarWinds. And now I will go inside the application and I'll show you what are the metrics it is capturing. Let me click on that. Okay, so we'll get the detailed overview information now. Health of this particular application is good. You can see that current state is good and duration is 30 minutes. And name of this particular app is Rudra Demo App. Service ID you are able to see, and then language is Java. Like that, if I scroll down, you will get the information related to critical warning and information here. And then comes average trace response time breakdown. And if I scroll down, you can see the HTTP status code. It is 200, that is 2 series. It means it is working as expected. And like that, after the HTTP status code, you can see the request rate as well, right? Request rate. We're able to see the response time, how quickly it is responding. Okay, like that, you can see the error rate. And then this is very important, you are able to see the total transaction. Currently we are hitting only one website, that is localhost 9090. Because of that, it is showing only one information. Suppose if your application is having multiple transactions, then you will get the information, detailed information here, like total time, how much it took, then 30 minutes ago, and trend, error ratio you are able to see here, right? Let me scroll down, then top 5 errors you can get here, and then service instance history you are able to get here. So like that, you will get the complete info. If I go to the health, and again it will show the some of the information with respect to this particular app. You can see that health is good and last 30 minutes. And here you will get the alerts if anything wrong happened with respect to this application, and you will get that information here, like new alerts, ongoing alerts, and the closed alerts. So closed alert information you will see inside the historical alerts. Currently there were no historical alerts. If I go to the transaction, I could see only one. As I said, if there are multiple transactions, then you will able to see that information in this particular screen inside the transaction section. So now we have only one. So total time of that one, request rate, response time, error ratio, you are able to see. Like that, you will get the traces information as well, like end-to-end transaction information it is going to give. So then we'll get the trace and request information. So we were using the get method, response code is 200, duration of the micros is 1.01 milliseconds. If you want to know the detailed information, the trace information that happened at this particular time, then click on the details. It will open the next section. It will give the detailed information of that particular trace. Okay, you can see, right, it happened 3 minutes ago, and then app name is this one, and API, that is response code, is 200. That means okay, total spans count is 1. If you scroll down, you will get the span informations, and then remote calls, queries, cache calls, errors, logs, all the data is available here. And if you want to know more about the span name, click on that. You will get the data again over here: span kind, span type, language, start time, end time. So all the information you will get in this manner. So not only for one application, suppose in your environment you have the multiple application, hundreds of application, so everything will be visible here. So this is the overview page where it will give the total number of accounts. Currently we have only one, so one. Suppose if you have hundreds of application, it will give the count as 100, and out of 100 how many are having the issue, that information you will get here, active alerts. And if there are any traced error, you will get here, and total overall information you will get inside this service section. To know more about, just simply click on the app name and you will get the detailed information once you go inside the app. So only thing you need to remember when you are practicing in your laptop or home, so please make sure
This particular script or a line should run inside the Java web app. Wherever your Java web app is present, inside that only you need to run this command. Okay, Java agent. Then this is the complete path of that one. From where you got this information, you will get once you go into the application performance, add data, and then you choose the APM. That time it will give the information. Hope you remember at the time of instrumenting, we got that particular code. So you need to execute that particular code inside the Java web app. So I'm stressing it again and again because we may made the mistakes. Because of that reason, I'm telling it again and again. Even I have done it in a wrong place, right? While explaining earlier, I have done it inside the SolarWinds agent. Due to that, I was not able to see any language or detailed information. I was just thinking what exactly went wrong. After going through the instrumentation part once again, I got to know I was running the code in a wrong place. So then I have made the correction and I have ran inside the exact place whatever I have shown you so far. Okay, so now the next concept. Now I will explain about what is a maintenance window in SolarWinds Observability and how it works. Usually, in any monitoring tool, alerts are generated whenever servers or application or device goes down. But sometimes outages are planned one, like server patching or reboot activity or application deployment or infrastructure upgrades. So during these planned activities, we do not want unnecessary alerts or emails or incidents or tickets. To avoid this, we use something called a maintenance window. So what is the definition of maintenance window? A maintenance window is a scheduled time period during which monitoring of alerts and notifications are temporarily suppressed for the selected resources. Okay, the monitoring will be continuous in the background, but alerts are muted, right? So operation team are not disturbed by the planned maintenance activities. That is what the importance. We can prevent the false alerts, we can reduce the alert noise, we can avoid the unnecessary incident tickets, we can stop sending the emails during the reboot activity, right? So overall, we can completely reduce the noise in the environment by using the maintenance window. So now I'll show you how to set up a maintenance window in the SolarWinds SaaS. I already connected to the portal. So once you connected, you need to go into the settings, and inside the settings you have an option called maintenance window. Scroll down and here is the option maintenance window. I just clicked on that, and in this particular screen you are going to get the complete list of maintenance window whatever you have created. Currently it is empty because I have not set it up any maintenance window. To create a new maintenance window, you can simply find an option called create. I will click that option and provide the name and description to this maintenance window. I'll use something like CHGPQR001. So it is a kind of providing the change number here, or else you can provide it as May patching. Okay, some meaningful information you can give here. If any other person comes and see the maintenance window names, he can easily understand, okay, why, for what reason the resources are or the entities are kept in the maintenance window. Either you can provide the change number, incident number, request number, or some meaningful names there. And of course, you can provide a detailed description also here. That is also possible. Once you provide that information, then click on next. And this is the second screen. This is very important for the maintenance window. Here we need to select the entities. You can select multiple entities. It is not like we have to select only host at a time, or the website at a time, or the real user monitoring related metrics at a time. Nothing like that. You can select multiple entities by simply clicking on this add button. I will show you by selecting two different entities now. First, I will go ahead and take use of the host. So I'll search the keyword host here. If anything, it will display. Yes, we have an entity type host. Then I want to filter the host by using the selected host or content text, does not contain text, and search query. These all options are available. I will use the second option to keep it simple, that is selected host. And from this section, I will select the host. For example, I am doing the activity on Linux 002 server and Unix 001 server and also demo 01A server. I'm doing some activity on these three servers, so definitely it will create an alert, right? To avoid that alert, I want a alert suppression. For that reason, I just selected these three servers. Along with this, I am also doing the activity on my website related as well. So website will also generate the alert. So I don't want, because I know I'm working on that, I'm going to fix some issues or I'm going to do some upgrade activity. So why should I get the alert during that time frame, right? For that reason, you can click on add button, and here you can type web. Yes, website is there. Suppose if you are doing activity for the IAS related, then go for IAS web server. Now I will take use of the website. Then scoped by, again I'll go for the second option, that is selected websites, and I'll choose the website name here. Currently in my environment, I am doing two website monitoring, that is Best Places and Amazon. For this demo, I will take the first option, that is Amazon. Okay, I'm doing some activity on the Amazon website, so I don't want to alert. That's fine. After that, you need to give the particular time period from when to when SolarWind suppress the alerts, that you are going to define here, from and to. So I want the alert suppression from tomorrow, exact 4 o'clock onwards, right? To till, you need to provide the timings here, till 29th of 16. Okay, 29th of 6 o'clock, I mean 16 means 4 o'clock. Okay, so what I have given, I have given particular time period like 4 o'clock to 4 p.m., that is 27th to 29th. Whatever the thing might happen on all these entities, SolarWind will not create any tickets, any alerts or any incidents. Why? Because we're enabling the maintenance mode for that particular time period. Then comes frequency. So there are a lot option how we are going to schedule this maintenance mode. Do not repeat, repeat every daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. For example, some of the things we are going to do it on monthly basis, right? So in that case, you can go ahead and take use of the monthly, and this will be enabled automatically on monthly basis. You no need to do anything, everything will be taken care by the SolarWinds itself. Okay, likewise there are other options also available, you can choose that. For my demo, I am not going to repeat it again, so I will select the option do not repeat. So it will be applicable this maintenance window only this particular time period, 27th to 29th, and time period 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. And finally click on next, and you will get the summary page here. Whatever the timing I have selected and whatever the scope I have done, all the information you will get in the summary section. You can see right now we are in the summary. Once I am okay with all this information, simply click on create. Our first maintenance window is ready. Okay, right now we are in the maintenance window section, and I successfully created one maintenance window. See, this is our maintenance window. Inside that, I have successfully created a one maintenance window here, and status is scheduled because it is in the future, and this is one time, it is not going to repeat. So because of that reason, inside the schedule it has mentioned as one time, and it is going to apply for the host as well as website, start time, end time, and who has created that, even that information is also available, right? So like this, if you have hundreds of maintenance windows, everything will be displayed here only. Suppose if you want to delete it, what is the step? Select it and then click on delete, it will go automatically. If you want to do some modification, then go for edit. If you want to disable this one, then go for disable option. So you need to play with these three things: edit, disable and delete. Okay, hope you got understanding how to set up a maintenance window in the SolarWinds SaaS. Our next topic is about the groups. We have cleared with the maintenance window, and I will now go to the next option, that is group. You can see right here is the option called groups. What is the importance of group? Why we need a group? First, we need to understand that concept. Okay, so we covered maintenance window. Now we are moving towards the group. So managing the each resource individually becomes very difficult. Consider in your environment you have hundreds of servers or thousands of servers, applications, network devices, and cloud resources and websites. So is it possible to manage individually all those? No, it is very difficult. For that reason, to simplify the monitoring or the administration, SolarWind has provided this beautiful feature called groups. So in simple words, groups are nothing but a logical collection of the monitored resources combined together for the easier monitoring and management purpose. A group can contain servers, it can contain network devices, applications, databases, website, cloud resource, Kubernetes components. Altogether, instead of monitoring every object separately, we can monitor them as a single unit using the groups. That is the importance. How to create the groups? Right now we are in the group section. You can see right we are inside the groups, and currently I have only one group. To create a new group, you can find an option called create group. Just click on that and provide the name to this group. I will give the name as production. Okay, this group is belongs to the production, so I will give that. If you want to put some description, you can mention over here. Then comes the important part, that is membership. So what all are the servers, what all are the network devices, what all are the cloud resources, etc., etc., should be part of this group that you are going to define inside the membership, either by using the manual method or by using the search method. Okay, so if you are using the manual method, here you need to select it one by one. For example, for this production group, I want to add this one and this one. These two entities or the website should be part of my production group. So I will select those two only. So total members count is 2. One is belong to the URI category, another one is belongs to the website category. I have added both by using the manual method. Suppose if your environment is having multiple application information or server information, here you have the option called search entities. It will display everything for you and you need to choose it one by one manually. Or if you want to work it based on the search, then go for this option and provide or select the information accordingly. For example, if you want a host, then type host. It will list out everything and select whatever you want. Now I'll go and take use of the manual method only. I'll click on next. So this is the production, that is name, and group type is static, and finally I'll click on done. Within a few clicks, I successfully created a one group here. Like that, when you are working in the production environment or the real-time projects, you may need to create groups for SQL related, for Unix related, or Wintel team related, or application related, right? Consider there are 10 applications. In that, 5 belongs to the development, 5 belongs to the production. So those 5 servers you want to keep it in the maintenance mode. So instead of adding them one by one manually, you just create a group and add all those applications to that group and apply the maintenance window for the group itself. So it will save your time, right? Going forward, whenever the same kind of activity comes, you no need to add it manually because group is already created. Select the group and provide that. So the name is not showing here. Let me refresh the screen so that whatever the group I created at this moment, you should be able to see that. What name I have given? Name I have given production. You can see it. Now the group is showing and it got created 1 minute ago and name is production. Okay, and suppose if you want to see the health state or what objects were added into the production after creating, then simply click on this one. It will go inside and it will give the complete information for us. See, total members are 2 and health state of that is good, and it means both entities are working as expected. And what are those entities? You will get the complete information. If there are thousands, it will give 1000 entity information here itself, and count it will give it as 1000. Out of 1000, how many are good, how many are moderate, how many are bad, it will give complete information for us. Hope you got a clarity about the groups now. Okay, now the next concept. Let's start discussing about databases monitoring in SolarWinds Observability tool. Okay, to demonstrate this activity, I am taking use of MySQL database. Okay, first we need to download the MySQL and then we need to configure in such a way that the database can be easily monitored in our SolarWinds Observability. To download the MySQL, first go to this particular website, then click on enter and you will get a first option called download MySQL installer. If you click on that and scroll little down, you will get the installable file. Yeah, I'm talking about this one, Windows MSI installer. If you simply click on this one, it will download for us. So now I have downloaded this one in my environment. I have copied that into the server where I wanted to do the monitoring. You can see right MySQL instance here. I'll select this one, right click and then click on open, preparing to install. Okay. So what we are doing now, we're installing the MySQL on the server. So after that, once the installation is done, we'll make the configuration in such a way that SolarWind tool can easily monitor this particular database. Okay. Let's wait for a few seconds to complete the installation. Now it is saying 18 seconds are remaining. Yeah. Okay, page is open. Here we need to choose the setup type. I will go with a fourth option, that is custom, and then I'll click on next. Here we need to select the products. So this is available products and products to be installed. First, I'll expand this MySQL server and then MySQL server and then MySQL server 8.0. Select this one and move to the right. So this one is added here. Products to be installed section. This one is added. After that, I'll expand the applications and then I'll go for MySQL cell. Then again expand this, select and move this side. And of course we want the workbench as well to perform the activity. It is just like in a SQL Server Management Studio in case of MS SQL. So I'll just expand this, select and move this one also to the right. So I want these two products to be installed on this particular server. So I selected everything and I'll then click on next. Okay, I want all these three things and finally I'll click on execute. Now you can see the status, right? I agree the license agreement. Click on install. Okay, then click on next and execute again. So now it is installing these three products. One is MySQL Server and another one is MySQL Cell and finally MySQL Workbench. So we need to wait for a few seconds to complete the installation of these three products. Right, it is completed. You can see the same thing in the status, right? All these three products are completed successfully. Now let me go for the next step. Click on next. Okay, and product configuration ready to configure. I am okay with that information. Again next, and here we are using the port 3306, right? And then next. Now we enter some root password here and then repeat the same password here as well. Let me put some password and then click on again next. And it is mentioning password strength is medium, but no worries, since it is in a demo environment I am not giving some complex password here, but in case of real-time environment it should be very complex, at least minimum 32-bit length password, so that it will be considered as a very secured one, right? Next, we are in the Windows Service Configuration section. So it is going to display the name as MySQL 80. I am okay with that one. Okay, I am not going to modify anything. Like if you open service.msc, service name should display like this only. Okay, fine. After that, server file permissions, yes, grant and apply the configurations and finally click on execute. Now it is displaying the configuration for the MySQL Server 8.0.45 was successful and then click on finish. Yes, it is successful and we are very much okay with that information. Okay, and after that again click on next and finally click on finish. Yes, you can see right now MySQL workbench is started. Okay, after this we need to edit the environment variable. In the search you can type edit environment variables and simply select that one. Once this particular screen is open, inside the system variables we should go into the path, right, and then click on edit and provide the path. So where we'll get the path information for this particular MySQL, go to the search and then go for file explorer, this PC, C drive, program files, and then go for MySQL, and we want MySQL server. So just go inside here and then bin. So copy this particular path, right? Go here, do Control C, and again go back to that settings, environment settings. Okay, and here click on new and paste here, and finally OK, OK, and we are good. Now, if I open command prompt and check the MySQL version, it should display the data. So let me type MySQL dash dash version and then click on enter. Yes, you can see right. We have installed MySQL version 8.0.45 Windows 64 and it is a MySQL community server. Okay, so what are the steps we followed? We went to the website and then we downloaded and we ran that .msf file. Once the installation is done, then we have modified the environment variable path. So just go to the environment variable and then into the path and provide the MySQL server path. This one, C, program files, MySQL server, MySQL server 8.0 and bin. So once you provided that information, we are good with a complete installation of MySQL server. So now what I will do, I'll try to connect my database. Command is MySQL dash u indicates username and our username is root and followed by dash p indicates password. Once you click on enter, it will ask for the password. Let me enter that. Access denied. I think I entered the wrong password. Let me try one more time. Yeah, now it got taken properly. Earlier I entered wrong password, so it given the error as access denied for the user root. But now it is saying, yes, welcome to the MySQL monitor. So it means our MySQL database is working as expected. Let me see how many databases are running at this moment. Command is show databases, enter. Okay, currently there are three databases running at this moment. Information schema, MySQL, performance schema, and sys. So it means the installation part is completed successfully. Now I'll go back to my SolarWinds Observability tool and I'll start the configuration for monitoring this one. Right. Now I am in the SolarWinds home page. Here you need to click on add data and then go for databases. And our interested part is MySQL. According to the need, we need to select here. For example, if you're working on PostgreSQL or MongoDB or SQL Server, Redis, so you need to choose according to that. So now I'll go with the MySQL part. Okay, then scroll down and select deploy new agent because we are not installed the SolarWinds agent on that particular server. So I just selected that. Then go for the installer, scroll down, next. If you want to create a new token, go for generate new token, or if you want to use the existing one, select this option. Anyway, I have the token already, so I'll go for the second option, that is use existing one, that the name is, and the name is lab001. Click on next, and I'm installing it on Windows, so I'll go with a second option, next. Okay, and download the .msi file. Simply click on this one. Okay, so that it will start downloading that. You can see, right, it start downloading. Once the download is completed successfully, we need to copy this one and go to the host or a server where we wanted to do the database monitoring and run this particular .msi file. This is related to the SolarWind agent. Okay, we need to run this one. Let's wait for a few seconds to download this one. Yeah, it is completed. Go to the file and copy this one. Then I'll go to my server file and I'll paste the information in the desktop only. Okay, so now I have copied successfully to the desktop of my server. You can see, right, let me do one thing. I'll just rename this one instead of that 3. I'll just remove that part that is not required at all, right? So I'll click on OK. So the next step is we need to run this one. We need to install this application, I mean the agent. What is the command? So SolarWind has given the command here. So we need to run this particular command on that server. So again, I'll go back to the server. Okay, and let me see the path where it is. So I'll just go here, properties, copy the path. All right, so I'll do cd and I'll enter that information here. Then click on run. So now we are in the desktop folder. If I do pwd, you are able to see that. Let's see what all other files were there. Yes, we are very much interested in this particular file, that is .msi related to the SolarWinds agent. So how to install? As I said, command is already ready. Only thing is we need to copy, go to the PowerShell ISC and run here. Okay, I pasted that information, then click on run. See, now the SolarWinds VAMS client agent installation is started. Once the installation is completed, you need to open service.msc and verify whether this particular service is added or not. Okay, it is completed now. I will go to the search and I'll type services and then I'll open that. So here I should see that service, SolarWinds VAMS. Let me scroll down. Yeah, here you can see, right, it's installed successfully and you're able to see the status as running. So now if I go back to my SolarWinds console, everything will be fine. You will be about to go into the next step. Yes, you can see, right, earlier it was in the installation page, now automatically it came into the logs, right? If you want to do the log monitoring also, just select this one, and if you want to provide some information like display name, just provide that, or else you can leave as it is, not a problem. Then go for next. Now we are in the summary section. Here If we scroll a little down, you have an option here, additional actions. See, what is that? They are mentioned here. To monitor the database performance, you need to select this one. Monitor database reliability, availability, and performance, including the query optimization. Yes, I want this one. Select that. Okay. So once you select that, it will come to this particular screen again. Again, choose MySQL. Now we are in the Add MySQL database section, and it is saying the agent name as well. So we wanted this one only. Because of that only we install the agent so far. Okay. Then click on Next, and here you need to provide the instance name, that is instance address, display name, what you want to see, and finally provide the database username and database password. My database username is root, and I'll enter the password here. Along with that, instead of the localhost 3306, I'll provide my exact IP address of the server. So I'll go back to here and I'll type ipconfig, and this is my IP address 10.0.0.4, and I'll paste that information here. Okay. So let me go for next. So now we are in the prepare section. You can see right, prepare your database. Create a new database user. Okay, I wanted this one only. I'll copy this and I'll go back to my server. I'll try to connect that first. MySQL username root and -p. Click enter and now enter the password. Okay, now I have connected successfully, as you can see on the screen as well. Now what I will do, I'll paste that command here. Click on enter. Yes, now it is completed. Now what I will do, I'll check whether this particular user is created or not. For that, I'll go to my server again. Now to see whether that account is created or not, you need to enter one particular command. Select user host from mysql.user. Then click on enter. Yes, you are able to see the username called root is the one we have created. So here they are mentioned clearly, grant privileges. So simply you need to copy it and execute again. I just copied. I'll go back to my server again and I'll paste here. It's throwing some error. I think let me copy that command again. I think it's not copied properly. I will go here and I'll execute one more time and paste. Click on enter. Okay, now it got completed successfully. After that, what they have mentioned, enable the key performance consumer. So what we can do, just copy it again, go to the server and paste anyway, enter. Okay, so everything is done from the SolarWinds perspective as well. So now what we can do, we can simply scroll down and then click on observe the database. So total, this is the summary page. This is our server and 3306 is port number, username is root, and this is the password, host name is MySQL, version, everything is ready. So plugin deployment is successful, then click on close. So it means our integration part is completed successful for the database. So if you wait for a few minutes and again if you go to the databases section, you should be able to see the servers whatever I have configured now. Now the overall health is 1. So if I scroll down, it is mentioning it as a MySQL. All database count is 1 and health is good. Let me select this one. Okay, and it will give the great information for us here. Yes, you can see right. Duration 2 minutes. It is up from the last 2 minutes because we configured just now, right? That is what it is giving the count as. I mean duration as 2 minutes. So this is the name what we have given, and database type is MySQL and version is 8.0.45. We haven't provided any tags, so the tag section is empty. So additional information it is giving the address related, and cloud provider it is giving empty. We need to wait for some more time so that it will give the cloud provider information that is Azure related. So of course you will get this information as well, host name, agent status, versions, plugin, everything it will show here. So what I will do, I'll just refresh the screen and I'll just pause my screen recording for 4 to 5 minutes. So after that, I'll start the screen recording. Let's see what all are the metrics SolarWind has captured. Now the data is visible. I mean, each and everything is showing properly in the SolarWinds. You can see that it is good in the last 1 hour. Availability is 59 minutes, right? And as I said earlier, few of the places were empty, but now everything is filled properly. See, host name is MySQL, agent status is MySQL, versions, plugin, right? So earlier it was empty, right? But now we are able to see everything here. So that's what I mentioned. After installing the agent or configuring the databases, we may need to wait for some times to reflect the or to get the information properly in the SolarWinds console. Okay, health is fine, availability is fine, and then comes latency. So in the last 1 hour, latency is 7.13 milliseconds. And also if I scroll a little more down, we're able to see the throughput, that is 5.13 QPS. And if there are any active alerts related to the database, you will get that information over here. Right now we don't have any active alerts, so it is completely zero. And response time also you are able to see in the graph how it is behaving in last 1 hour. So currently it is having 7.1 millisecond in the last 1 hour. That is average response time of the database. And likewise we are able to see the average load and average error rate. Currently we don't have any errors. That's what it is completely zero. So but we have some load on the database. That's what you are seeing here. Average load is 0.0094%. You are able to see the information in the graph so that you can easily understand how the information, how the things are going on at the DB level. So this is all about overview. Like that, if you go to the profiler, you will get other information with respect to the databases. Now we are able to see, right, queries by the total time. So this is what the response we are saying. Slow open tables, then set wait timeout, right? So we are getting some information for those two things. So like that, you will get the detailed information here, like in chart, then description, then total time, then change over time. So you will get the detailed information in this manner. And if we expand this quality of service, you can see, right, quality of service, you are able to see the response time, throughput, and errors. So the average response time is 6.27 milliseconds in the last 3 hours. Throughput is 2.34 QPS, and there is no errors at this moment. I mean, in the last 3 hours, there is no errors. Then queries by count also you're able to see. We are not running any queries over the database at this moment, so it's most of the time showing it as a zero only. So let me do one thing. I'll try to run some of the queries over here. Let's see. For example, I want to see show data basis and enter, and I'll enter one more time. So let me create some load on the database, and let's see how the data metric value gets changes over the SolarWinds console. That's what my main agenda over here. So it's showing all these things. Now what I will do, I'll create one database. Let's see how to do that. The command for creating the database is, right, create, then database. So after that, you need to provide the name. For example, I give my name only, like Rudra Gowda. So the database name is Rudra Gowda, right? So I supposed to give semicolon over here and then click on enter. So in val syntax, that's fine. So I'll just do it again. So now it will be proper. You can see it. And I'll create one more database, Rudra Gowda 1. Hit enter. And now I'll create one more, Rudra Gowda 2, and hit enter. And if I type show databases, now all these things should be displayed over here. You can see, right, Rudragoda 1, Rudragoda 2, and 6. These are the databases present, right? Let's see the performance now, how it's happening in the SolarWinds Observability tool. I'll just refresh from the top no so refresh button itself. Now you can select queries by count at this moment is drastically. See, total shows schemas are 10 and another one is 3. So all of a sudden it got increased at 321. Why? Why it got increased queries by count? Why? Because we are executing some of the queries at the background. Because of that reason, so we are getting the data in the SolarWinds Observability tool. Hope you are understanding the point, right? See, now we are able to see so many things here. Show open tables and change over time. Then if you want to know more about that one, just click on that and it will give the detailed information like query ID, first scene, last scene, number of samples, right? All those things you are able to see here. Like that, if I go to the samples, so according to that, you will get the data. See, this is the total samples informations. Like that, if I go to the traces, it will give the traces informations. So this particular top screen is very important. Overview, inventory, profiler, matrix, inspector, events, alerts, and advisor. According to our need, we should go there and we should check the data. For example, if you are interested in the matrix, then you should on the matrix option and you will get the complete info over here. According to the need, you can choose the matrix. For example, now you are able to see, right, DB host DBS affected rows, DB host DBS created. Like that, so many metrics were created over here. If you want to know more about the particular matrix, simply select that and you are able to see the data according to that particular metric.
Okay, hope you got a complete understanding about DB monitoring in the SolarWinds observability tool.